Thanks for being here. This is Truthseekers with your host, Stephen Campion. Please rate, like and comment on our videos or podcasts. If you are listening to an audio podcast, please rate us 5 stars to help us rise in the search rankings. If you are watching on YouTube, please like, comment and subscribe to our channel. If you're listening to an audio podcast, we love and appreciate you listeners, but you are missing the live tapings. All our shows are recorded live with video feed. We'd love you to come be a part of our live broadcasts and tapings for the podcast. Head on over to YouTube, click the search tool, the little magnifying glass, put Truthseekers, one word in the search bar, and hit enter. You'll see a strange and mysterious guy with sunglasses. That means you found the channel. Go there, smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to receive up-to-date info on our YouTube channel. We welcome you to be a part of our live taping and our chat room during the live broadcasts. Seek the truth. Speak the truth. This is Truthseekers. Truthseekers.
All these ancient prophecies telling us that the world will be transformed.
Wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. It's the wacky world of Wilcock. How much money can he steal? It's the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. It's the wacky world of Wilcock. How much money can he steal? He makes all this stuff up and claims that it's all true. The aliens want to eat us. Be careful that they don't get you. It's the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. It's the wacky world of Wilcock. How much money can you steal? It's the wacky world of Wilcock, where make-believe is real. It's the wacky world of Wilcock. How much money can you steal?
This is where if I have a live audience, I get everybody to hug each other. I say, give your neighbor a handshake or a hug, whatever you feel is appropriate to you. And that way everybody feels the love a little more. I will never believe it, I will never believe it. Okay, that's fine. Maybe you need 25,000 more years, I don't know, buddy. But look, this is really compelling information, and it's going to get a lot more intense. It's coming up in a couple days here on Sunday, so if you haven't already signed up, we've reopened the cart. We still have the payment plan in place. That account, I believe, is real. I've watched it for a long time, and he says a lot of really provocative stuff there that has definitely caught my attention on many, many occasions. I've heard this briefing many times. Incredibly, incredibly sad, but probably a lot more than just what it looks like on the surface. If you don't really see what's going on here, this might not make sense. Very evil people are running the planet and want to kill you, okay? And they're trying to do that, and they're aggressively pursuing this goal right now. And now the earth is much like a tree in which the tree is ripening, and the fruit has come to its fruition. Fruit, you see what I did there? Anyway, the things that I was forced to witness, the Draco's eating human beings. And Draco's eating my own body. Okay, one of the things I discovered, which is very weird, is that some of the technology they got in UFO disclosure, They could literally chop your head off and then zip you right back together and bring you back to life like nothing even happened. So there are some sickos who had children get eaten alive and then resuscitate their body from the dead. And that's what apparently was done to me, among other things. That's it. I just want to kill people and drink blood and and rape and molest. That's my goal in life. And that's one of the main things I've had to deal with over the last few months. If you are overweight, and I used to be 225 pounds at 5'9", I had man boobs, I had the, big spare tire, roll of fat on the bottom, 3 rolls, each one bigger than the one above it. That was me, I was the fat kid. I had man boobs. That's pretty awesome. I am going to lose my voice pretty soon. I can feel it coming. So we're just going to keep going until something goes wrong. But I wanted to get through this content. So here I was at the Marriott Hotel on the first night when I got to LA after I went to my Airbnb. And I open up the door. Cat! Ah! Cat! 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 Ah! Ah! Cat smell! Ah! Cat! Ah! Cat! 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 Ah! Ah! Cat smell! Ah! That's what it was like when I got in there. Oh my God, did it smell bad. Oh my God, did it smell bad. Ah, it's this amazingly intense cat box odor. I open up the house, I'm like, oh my God, how am I even going to sleep in this place? And then I find out that the Glendale Freeway, the Highway 2, is right next to it, like 100 feet away. The noise was so loud, the cars were so loud, because I'm up on a hill, and here's this highway right down here, so there's a direct, unencumbered line of just air between all these cars on this, I think it was a 6-lane highway. It might have even been 8, but it was at least 6. And they're running all day and all night. And every single time that one goes by, you hear it in the house. I also go in there, and the house is sweltering hot. So it's like, wait a minute, I rented this for the week. I gave you guys $4,000, what it was. I paid up front. And I walk into the house, and they didn't even turn the air conditioning on, but they had one of those Leaf thermostats where they could have totally done it online. So I get in there, and it's this overpoweringly bad cat smell. And I'm already hearing the traffic. And then it's like, well, it's so freaking hot in here. The only way I might be able to sleep in this stench is if I can air out the house and get the temperature down. So then when you open up the windows, of course, now the cars are like just really, really incredibly loud. And I realized, like, you know what? Even when the windows are closed and even when my earplugs are in, this place is just very noisy and incredibly, incredibly bad smelling. And I cannot do this. I mean, as you guys heard in some of my previous shows, I am hopelessly in debt. The only way I can ever get out of the debt, which is entirely taxes, okay? There's nothing else going on but taxes. And I'm already seeing people create these conspiracy theories. There was some of the trolls online were trying to say that people had given me money for hover cars and I didn't deliver on the hover car. That is absolutely not true. Yeah, I found out that I could do these online conferences, and you can only really do this if you're a big public figure. I've got Ancient Aliens, I've been over 100 episodes. If there's a television on, and it's on History Channel, you're going to see me sooner or later. So when you have that level of exposure, this is actually something that works. And again, if you want to get mad at me, oh my God, David's making money. People just get mad that I'm making money. Well, how did I pay for this? How did I pay for these cameras? How did I have the ability to go from one to the other like this, or maybe even another one? Well, I bought these, right? And so Some of the trolls online basically don't feel that you should ever be able to be paid for making art. But I would say to you trolls, well, wouldn't it be cool if you could get paid for making art? Are you out of your freaking mind? Like, I'm lying there and I'm just hearing it's crazy, crazy rushing air noise. And again, it's cutting right through my earplugs. I can't get rid of it. I had asked for a quiet room. Lounge. I can't, like, stay at this hotel if all I'm going to do is work on the internet in a lounge, because people recognize me. I'm naked in public. I can't just hang out in a lounge because everybody's going to go, "Are you David?" and then they want to talk. Not that that's bad, but you can't get work done in a lounge. You know, not me. Are you out of your freaking mind? So again, remember, I don't have a phone. I don't have a phone. The only thing I have is GPS on the car that I'm using. And now I've got to be there at 12:30. I've got to be at the venue at 12:30. I was very, very aware of not stuttering, not saying any crutch words at all. And I was just very, very meditative and very dialed in and focused. We got the thing done, and everybody was speechless. They were so amazed. Nobody even really knew what to say. This would also happen when I did Ancient Aliens. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that when people see somebody sit down for 4.5 hours and just disgorge this incredible information without ever making a mistake, without ever needing to stop and retape at all, they're just dazzled. Whoa, this has got to be something crazy. Whoa, this has got to be something crazy. People are freaking crazy. And then it was after that, as I was driving back, that I got out on the road and this guy behind me and I flipped him off. And then the next thing you know, it's like he wants to kill me. This is all in the same drive on the way home. Okay, that's when that happened, on the way home. So I still can't get the phone to work. This is like the second or third night the phone still isn't working. Finally, by the following morning, I was like, okay, the only way I'm going to get this phone to work is I got to start deleting all the videos off of it. Because I got to create enough space, because it won't even let me do dictation. You try to hit something, it just goes black. The phone is all screwed up. It's not working properly. I mean, thank God Google Maps worked. But now it's like, okay, well, I got to go through and I got to delete a bunch of videos. So I start deleting videos, and of course, they're all videos with my ex-wife when we were very in love, and everything was great. And so that creates all this sadness, and I'm getting all this kind of, trauma from looking at old videos when I was happier. And then the next thing you know, the guy calls me, my producer got first. The minute that my phone was like clear enough, he starts calling me, because now it could finally work when I got the storage below 128 gigabytes. And I just lost it. I just started crying. I said, look, man, I'm just so cold. I haven't been eating, and I've got this massive sore throat, and I can't stop coughing. And I'm just so exhausted, and I'm so tired, and everybody here is crazy, and they're all evil, and they're all wanting to, like, scream in your face and steal your money and rip you off and get aggressive and cut you off on the road or kill you on the road. There's a lot of really interesting stuff coming out from the Alliance. If you look at Shadow of Ezra Cohen, where they're talking about a November to remember. That was one of the posts they just came up with. So I think we are going to see some really big stuff happening. So I still don't know if I want to stay here the whole winter, because like today is 11 degrees outside. I have to wear ski pants to go outside and a base layer. So I don't really want to do this all winter, but I also don't really know where we're going next. Stavati, our aerospace company, it looks like we're getting some deals coming in. There's actually about 4 or 5 that are really amazing. But until they happen, we're still just on life support, and it's very stressful, and it's very intense, it's very dramatic. So my goal is not to keep repeating pain and difficult experience. My goal is to have fun and enjoy my life. And even though I got snow when I look out the window right now, I mean, it's just 5 inches of snow on my railings, I would much rather be here than in the summery weather of Los Angeles. I have been so constipated. I've been so constipated. I have been so constipated. So constipated. I have been so constipated. I mean, just before, I probably spent 45 minutes trying to get this latest one that's on deck out of me. And I just can't do it. I'm sitting there just freaking going crazy. I'm very happy about what we've achieved here. So I want to thank you for watching, and we will see you next Sunday. I don't anticipate I'm going anywhere, and I want to start doing more shows, so thank you for your support. And I really do need your help. So there's 7 books of Michael Prophecies now available, and those books are all at https://thedisclosure.com. We also have a 10.5-hour course available right now. It's already deliverable. All 11 episodes are done. It's called Sacred Science of Michael Prophecies. That's part of this course offering. And I'm going to have an upcoming new video course, which I'm going to start doing the slides for this week, called The Spirit of Michael Prophecies, which is also included in this. And I'm going to have at least 7 videos where I go through the 7 books and hit all the highlights. So if you don't have time to read all this, you can watch video. I got to get the hell out of here. I can't do this. Galaxy, the alchemy of Jesus Christ, is that you will become like him. John 14:12. As I do these things, so shall you do them, and greater things. Cognitive abilities, psychic abilities, telepathy, seeing the future, all of these things are rolled in with that concept. So when we're looking at the possibility of liberating ourselves from the suffering,
Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back. It is another new episode of the Wacky World of Wilcock, and it just keeps getting wackier. And what you just saw was the highlight reel of the nonsense, rambling mess that is now David Wilcock. And you know, one of the things that I want to make sure that I mention before I forget is that this man claims to be in contact with the Archangel Michael, God's greatest angel, who's giving him information to sell. The Archangel Michael is helping with David Wilcock's latest grift. And if you, like me, are a little bit confused as to why an angel might help somebody run a grift with false prophecies, you're not alone, because an angel would not do that. And that is all the proof that you need that David Wilcock is not in communication with the Archangel Michael. Another, call me kooky, but another little bit of evidence, I think, that may point to the fact that David Wilcock's not in communication with angelic spirits is that apparently they're okay with him putting their secret and sacred knowledge behind a paywall so that he can charge people $333 for it. After all, he's highly in debt. And did you hear that portion where he talked about I should be able to make money for creating art? He's not saying it's just art. He's saying that it's angelic revelations from God, prophecies.
And this, of course, gets into the false prophet narrative that we have discussed many, many times. The test of a prophet. There is substantial evidence that David Wilcock is a false prophet, because in order to fail, the test of a prophet is that you're never wrong, because you're in communication with angels, right? Angels wouldn't lie to you. Why would angels give you fake, false information? Fake, false information like Corey Good's information was very, very, very accurate. He put that in the very first book, dictated from the Archangel Michael. Why would the Archangel Michael say that a man that spent 8 years telling secret Buck Rogers fantasy stories, then admitting in a courtroom deposition that he'd never even been to space, had real or accurate information? That could be another, good clue that David Wilcock is a false prophet. And I think a very dangerous one. And we're going to get into it all tonight. I have some notes here. But before we do that, let us be sure that we welcome in the live chat, whether you're chatting in the Rumble chat, the Twitch chat, the YouTube chat, the Facebook Live or Twitter feeds, or the pill.net feed. We welcome all of you. So we're gonna get into this tonight, and I think that really, before we even begin, I just have some notes, and then I suppose we'll play the video and talk more about the ridiculousness of this whole thing. It's absolutely ridiculous to me. So first of all, in this video, and we're going to go through it, but I think there's some highlights that we might want to talk about right off the bat. And the first highlight is, of course, that David Wilcock is broke and he needs money because, well, he keeps giving different figures. A few weeks ago, he said he was $1.4 million in debt. Now he says he's about $1 million in debt. So does this mean that David Wilcock just collected $400,000 from stupid people to help him pay his tax debts? And by the way, you stupid people, and yeah, I get it. People, go ahead, message me. Oh, maybe they're just vulnerable. Maybe, yeah, I get that. Maybe they're, searching for something and having a real tough time in life. Maybe they're not stupid. No, if you give this man money, you are stupid. And there's a multitude of reasons why. You can see our previous report about how he collected, what was it, $70,000 or $100,000 worth of charitable donations. What did he spend that on? Not on charity. Well, he gave a couple $1,000s out of that 70 to 100K to charity, according to his own paperwork filed with the IRS. Also, according to his own paperwork filed with the IRS, him and his wife spent $4,000 in 1 year on meals and entertainment for themselves. But he wants you to send him money. More money. He hasn't collected enough money yet. We need more. We need more money. He needs more money. But before you stupid people send him any money, let's just go over some things. Okay, so he spent $4,000 of if you were dumb enough to give him money for his charity, $4,000 of your charitable donations he spent on meals and entertainment. And, we've detailed here before, I think what we have in David Wilcock is a spoiled rich kid that never grew up, never had to work a real job in his life, never earned real money at a real job. I think he did say he worked at some place, but it was minimum wage and he couldn't take it, right? For disabled people. Great. Maybe you should have stayed in that, right? But no, everybody likes the fast, easy money. Why work all the time if you can just make a YouTube video talking about cat piss stench, constipation, and terrible, bad medical advice? By the way, that's another big issue. He's giving medical advice through this entire video. He's not a doctor. He's not a nutritionist. He's telling people to alter their diet drastically. Where's the peer-reviewed studies, man? You can't go on YouTube. By the way, David Wilcock, I'm going to help you out here. He used to be so concerned that his channel was going to get nuked because he was talking about the 17th letter of the alphabet nonsense when a lot of channels talking about that were getting nuked. But as we know, CIA psyops get a pass from the usual YouTube rules. And again, this is more evidence because if I were to go on a public live stream and give medical and nutritional advice for 2 hours straight, including such wonderful quotes as, if you eat this, you will die, unquote, my entire channel would get nuked for medical disinformation, misinformation immediately. So would almost any content creator who wasn't a doctor, a nutritionist, a health expert, or something. But David Wilcock gets a pass. You be the judge of why David Wilcock gets a pass on this. Now back to the money. Remember, he spent $4,000 on meals and entertainment for him and his wife from charitable donations that stupid people gave him for his charity that did almost nothing for charity. They gave a couple $1,000s out of all they collected to charity. But don't worry, he did spend like a lot of money on himself, on software and equipment and, office supplies. Tax-free, must be nice. And then during this live stream, he mentions that he has 2 months worth of meat in his freezer, but not just meat. He has bison steaks. He has ribeye bison steaks. And I just want to take a moment and, maybe I'm just poor and bitter, right? He was complaining on his stream that some haters don't want him making money. I don't really care if people make money, if they actually recognize the value of money. But, come on. So if you buy 36 pounds, what he's talking about having 2 freezers full of is $35 a pound. Well, it depends on the width. If you want the good ones, 1.5-inch steaks, that's $41 a pound. And remember, he said he's got 2 months worth of that in his freezer. Do any of you have 2 months worth of meat that costs $41 a pound in your freezer? 2 months worth. That must be like 60 pounds meat, bro. Right? So, if I'm being kind to him, and that's just 1 steak a day, I guess they're about a pound a piece, a good sized man steak, right? So $40 a pound. And what gets me is that this guy is begging people for money, talking about how he's in desperate financial straits and $1.4 million in debt, while he's got $2,500 worth of bison steak. Well, $2,400 by this math, right? And that's just saying he has 60 pounds. He said he had 2 months. I think 60 pounds would be a fair pound a day. That'll keep you alive, right? But what really gets me is this man has absolutely, look, I'm going to give you some grit. All right, here's look, we try to be educational here, so I'm going to give him some grift help. This is Grift Help by Stephen Cambion. If you're grifting on the internet and you're begging people for hundreds of thousands of dollars, especially if you're begging for money, especially if you're begging for hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to be just given to you for your nonsense books that are supposed to be written by you and a goddamn angel. If you're grifting, asking for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's a real bad idea to let average working people know that you have at least $2,500 worth of meat in your freezers. Freezers, he said, plural. He's got 2 big, I guess, chest freezers in his garage or something, just filled with expensive food, right? Like bison ribeye steaks, which cost $40 a pound. 2 month supply, 60 pounds, that's like $2,500. And he's begging you for money. When is the last time I just want to ask you stupid people who are sending him money, when is the last time that you had on hand, right in your house, $2,500 worth of very expensive meat? And when is the last time you, stupid people sending him money, spent $4,000 on meals and entertainment for yourself in a 1 year period? We talked about this before. I go out to eat once or twice a year. That's it. And that's, we're thrifty, my wife and I, maybe other people once a week, once a month even, but not $4,000 in a year. What are you eating for free from the charity money you collected? Why are you eating from charity money you collected? But it gets better, because during this live stream, David Wilcock talks about also spending $4,000 on an Airbnb to spend some time in Los Angeles. Well, I'm here to tell you that you can get a cheap hotel motel in the Los Angeles area pretty cheap. Wouldn't cost $4,000, but David Wilcock, he's got to keep up with the millionaire lifestyle that he is accustomed to. And remember, he's begging everybody to send him money while he spent $4,000 on meals and entertainment for himself, while he's got $2,500 or 2 months worth of bison ribeye steaks in his freezer in his house, and spending $4,000 on a big fancy house in LA to stay in. While he's saying he's $1.4 million in debt or $1 million in debt, it depends on what week you caught him. Maybe he got a big influx of stupid people money in the last couple of weeks. And by the way, 2 weeks ago, he said within the next week or two, the mass arrests and all these things were going to happen. Do you know what happened? Nothing. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. And that's the thing with this guy. Nothing that he says ever happens. And one of my favorite examples of that is the 10 Days of Darkness. It wasn't that long ago. It was not that long ago that this man made startling prophecy. Now, remember, he claims that his books he wants $333 are filled with accurate prophecies from the Archangel Michael. Well, what angel did this crap come from, right? Just received this moments ago. The time is at hand. I received notice from a valid source who is notified by U.S. military active duty. Be prepared. This is from a very legitimate source. They asked that I spread the word to have people prepare in 24 or 48 hours. There will be 10 days of darkness where there will be shutdowns. The emergency broadcast system will send out alerts. Banks will be closed. ATMs will not work, nor will debit or credit cards. We will need to have a minimum of 3 weeks worth of food, water, and power. Generator, if possible. There will be 24/7 education videos for the people, airing 8 hours in reruns 3 times a day. The government will be shut down, right? And that was replaced, and that was quite some time ago. Then 2 weeks ago, he basically said this was going to happen again, but different now. Now we're getting mass arrests, right? And all these big things are going to happen. And you know what happened? Nothing. Nothing happened, because he is a false prophet selling fake information to stupid people and living a millionaire's lifestyle in $1 million mansion, spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that people send him on himself. He's not a spiritual guru. He's a selfish prick who does nothing but collect money from stupid people and spend it on himself, apparently, or allegedly. So I love that he's begging people for money. So, I said I was going to give him some grift help. If you're begging people for hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, don't tell people you spent $4,000 on meals and entertainment. Oh, that's right. David Wilcock didn't tell people that. I told people that from your own paperwork. Don't tell people you're spending $4,000 on a fancy house to hang out in LA for a week. He told people that. Don't tell people you're $1 million in debt and it's all taxes. Do you know how long did he not pay his taxes? Are we all supposed to believe that he made like $4 million in 1 year and that's just like 1 year's taxes? He claims he paid $1 million, almost $1 million in 1 year in taxes, twice what Biden paid. I don't know. How does he owe so much? He did at one time have an IRS lien, and we are aware that that shady aerospace company that he's so proud of, who, by the way, their only income is a few $1,000s from a garbage company. And somebody asked him if they were storing garbage or waste at his hangar, and he did not answer the question. Do you know why? Do you know why he didn't answer that question? Because he knows I am right. We got the information that David Wilcock's shady aerospace company's only source of income is from a garbage dumpster company that's storing dumpsters in his airplane hangar. It's in court documents. So why didn't he answer the viewer question about that? Because he knows we do accurate reporting here. He knows we get the dirt, and we did. That's his company's shady company's only source of income. I love it. It's great. So the shady aerospace company is also lying and saying that they have wind tunnel contracts. Somebody did FOIA requests. They don't have any wind tunnel contracts with who they claim. They've also previously claimed they were developing laser weapons for the United States military and got corrected. No, they weren't doing that. They're also being sued. And in that lawsuit, the person suing them calls their company an investment scam and a Ponzi scheme. They're also being sued. This is Stavati Aerospace, his aerospace company. They're also being sued by creditors because they got goods and services and didn't pay their bills. So they're being sued for that as well. And this is the company that David Wilcock says he gave all his money to. They've, best as I can tell, they've been collecting money from investors for years, been around for decades, haven't produced a single product or finished project that they could show people. Nothing except 3D printed what looked like G.I. Joe toys that David Wilcock showed on previous streams. And then you also have to love, during this stream, he's complaining he couldn't work the GPS in his car. Remember, he said he had a 180 IQ, which would make him smarter than Einstein, but he can't work a car GPS? I love it. All right. So let me see. What else are my notes here? Oh, so we went through the days of darkness. And I just want to mention, too, be sure to mention, if this man was truly in communication with angelic beings, right? People would want to hear about that. Why doesn't he go live and tell us what the angel's telling him and show us prophecies that he correctly predicted things with the angels? Is it because he can't? Instead of dropping this world-shattering information, oh my God, he's talking to angels and this is angelic, secret, sacred information. Instead of doing that, on his last live stream, he complained about a woman who was rude to him in line for free spring water for an hour. And on this stream, he complained about how bad his week in Los Angeles was for an hour. Those are half of both of those streams. So he's supposed to be a spiritual guru, and he spends half of his time public speaking, complaining about how terrible his life is. Like, come on, bro. Where's the positive, this too shall pass, or some kind of like wisdom? You're supposed to be a spiritual guru, and you're like my pissed off old dad. You're just like bitching and complaining. Oh, the flight was delayed, and then somebody rolled their eyes at me because I had to get up and pee. I had to pee while I was on the flight, and I'm also constipated. I'm constipated. It's terrible. I haven't been eating right. I'm constipated. I need money for making my art, even though I say it's secret information from angels. I'm going to call it art for legal reasons, I guess. And I flipped somebody the bird and he wanted to murder me. He was going to kill me right on the road. And I wasn't eating right. And then I lost my phone. And then I went to get the phone and they wouldn't let me in the store. And there was some lesbian couple, damn it. Why is he so focused on gay and lesbian people? He's always kind of like sideways making fun of gay and lesbian people. And during this stream, he says, while he was in LA, it was only lesbians. It was only LGBTQ people wearing masks. The only people wearing masks were those freaky LGBTQ people. The lesbians were wearing masks. Regular people don't wear masks. I'm not a lesbian. I'm not wearing a mask, I guess he thinks. I don't know. So, and then let's, of course, recognize, because we're going to have to skip through it. I can't even play you the bad medical advice that he gave for over an hour during this stream. Essentially telling people, stop eating wheat. Don't eat sugar. First of all, people have been consuming wheat for tens of thousands of years, right? And second of all, he's not a nutritionist. He's not a doctor. How does he not understand that some of his followers may have some health conditions that require grain in their diets? It's completely and totally irresponsible of him, with a huge following, to be telling people, he said, if you eat wheat, you will die. You will die if you eat wheat. You're not a doctor, dude. And you have no right giving people medical advice on a public live stream. You're an alien wackadoo. You're not a nutritionist. You have no right, and you have a responsibility to not do stupid, irresponsible things like offer terrible medical advice to everyone as if it's proven like he cracked the code. You ever notice that too? He's a goddamn expert, right? He cracked the code of nutrition and how to be healthy and happy. And he gives this hour-long stupid explanation. You can't eat Doritos because they'll scrape the inside of your gut and you'll die. Like, it is so cringy and stupid. You can't eat Doritos? Look, life ain't worth living if you can't eat Doritos. I'm going to keep eating Doritos. I don't care what David Wilcock says. I'm going to keep eating Doritos. All right. So, and then there's the weather issue, by the way. Oh, we got to share this because this is so funny. I'm going to look up Boulder, Colorado weather yesterday because this was a stream yesterday, remember? And he lied. He lies so much that even about stupid things, right? Like even about the most stupid things that you could possibly imagine. So I'm looking up weather yesterday in Boulder, Colorado. He said it's 11 degrees outside. No, yesterday it was a low of 21 in Boulder, where his home is. You got to lie about the weather? Is that to make people feel sorry for him? Oh, and there's 5 inches of snow. They didn't get any snow yesterday. I didn't look up the last week, but there's 5 inches of snow we got. We caught him a few times lying about the weather, saying it's much colder than it is. And remember, he's sending out marketing materials claiming to people that he's trying to survive the winter in an uninsulated cabin. He's living in a multi-million-dollar log cabin themed mansion on a private estate in Boulder, nearabouts Boulder. Anyway, the lies, they just keep coming, but that's what false prophets do. And remember how many times this man was wrong. He was wrong about the rainbow light bodies. He was wrong about the mass arrest. He was wrong about the ascensions. All these people paid $333. Nobody ascended. He was wrong about the hover cars. He was wrong about the anti-gravity. He was wrong about the free energy. Remember, he's supposed to have a prototype he could show us all by now. He was wrong about what would happen in the year 2000. He was wrong about what would happen in the year 2012. He was wrong about the mass arrest, wrong about the 10 days of darkness. So what are the chances? Oh no, this time he's got the help of the Archangel Michael. So this shit is real. All that other shit, totally fake. This stuff, totally real because he's got the help of an angel to write these books. I just don't believe that an angel would hang out with David Wilcock, give him secret or sacred knowledge, and then go, you know what? Instead of just giving this away to Earth and all the humans, why don't you sell for $333? And by the way, is he partnered up with Archangel Michael? Is he his partner? Is he going to give some of that money to the Archangel Michael? Or, you know, is he just going to keep it all and spend it all on himself? And talk about irresponsible, right? Like the irresponsible decisions that this man has made that has put him into huge debt. He wants you, his stupid viewers, he wants you to help you to have to pay for his financial mistakes, right? It's amazing. And by the way, David Wilcock is so out of touch with reality. Again, giving him grift help. If you're begging for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, don't tell people you're spending $4,000 on meals and entertainment for yourself. Don't tell people you're buying expensive cameras or going on expensive trips to Los Angeles with a $4,000 fancy house for the week. Too bad it didn't work out because it smelled like cat piss, right? And it was too loud. Yeah, and don't do that. Like, and don't lie to people and tell them that you're trying to survive winter in an uninsulated cabin in the mountains. Dude, you're living in a mansion. How dare you lie through your teeth like that? It's ridiculous. Or is it? It's not lying. It's just extreme exaggeration. So that somehow makes it okay. I don't think so. Yeah. And before we get to David Wilcock's, you know, I hate to do this, but I am going to do this because while this man is living a millionaire's lifestyle, there is suffering all over the world. And David Wilcock, I'm just going to show you some of it from the neighborhood that I grew up in. This is Kensington in Philadelphia. And while you're spending thousands of dollars on yourself, there are people dying in the streets from drug overdoses. There are people all over the world suffering in major cities, especially through a horrific pandemic. By the way, this is fair use. This is a transformative work. We're educating the public and using the video for educational purposes. And we'll be discussing and critiquing the video. This is covered under fair use and allowable by law. So while David Wilcock is on the internet making millions of dollars and complaining about how just incredibly terrible his life is, you know, I want to show him a scene from reality because David Wilcock does not live in reality. David Wilcock lives in some fantasy world where he's a big star, right? And I love it. Did you hear that stuff? Oh, he can't hang out in a hotel lobby because everybody will recognize him because he's such a big star from the History Channel. Come on, man. But you know, I just love the fact that this guy ran a charity and he could have helped these people with that money. And instead, he bought a lot of office supplies, software, equipment. And hey, there was the $4,000 in meals and entertainment. You know, maybe these people, David Wilcock, could use some spiritual enlightenment, right? That's what your charity was supposed to do. Some kind of spiritual nonsense. And all over the United States, the economy is in the crapper. Nobody has $2,500 worth of expensive 8-ounce or whatever ounce ribeye bison steaks in their freezer, except you, David Wilcock. But that's not enough for you. You also need hundreds of thousands of dollars on top of that, right? And even though people are living hand to mouth, literally in tent cities, in major cities all over the United States. and people are struggling and starving and dying, and people are addicted and struggling with addictions. And because of the fentanyl crisis, people are literally dying in the streets daily. And here in the neighborhood I grew up in, the suffering, this is actually not so bad, believe it or not. It gets much worse than this in some areas of this area. But while these people are all struggling and dying, David Wilcock is complaining because he lost his phone at an airport. It was the most terrible thing that ever happened to me. I lost my phone. I couldn't work the GPS. Send me more money. It's terrible. And the house smelled like cats. I couldn't take it. It was so loud. The house smelled like cats. It was so loud. And what you see here is probably people shooting up. I'm going to stop the screen here. But I think this is enough to prove the point that spoiled little rich boys that never had to work for anything in their lives, whose rich parents paid their way until they figured out, they could sell bullshit to the tune of millions of dollars somehow. A guy like that crying on the internet because he racked up $1 million tax debt he didn't pay, and expecting you, the viewers, to pay it for him, is all you need to know about false prophet David Wilcock. Do you need any more evidence that this man, he doesn't have secret or sacred knowledge from angels? He is a deceiver. Don't be a believer. All right, we're going to get into the video. I have mirrored it here because David Wilcock cranks his ads up to beyond too much. So we're gonna go through some of this, but remember, I have to skip most of this because for so much of this, he is literally giving terrible medical advice. And you know what? We're going to go to the live chat before we do that. Let me find the mirrored video. Yeah, and by the way, he's also now grifting off of Christianity, specifically mentioning the levitating saints, and now he's grifting off of that. And for a moment, let's remember this man has no material. If he did, he wouldn't go on an hour tirade about how terrible his week in LA was and complain for an hour straight. And in the previous video, he complained for an hour straight about a woman that was rude to him when he went to get free spring water. Does that sound like a man that's got all kinds of secret, sacred knowledge, 6 books worth of secret, sacred knowledge from the Archangel Michael? Or does that sound like a grifter to you? I know what it sounds like to me. I'm just asking questions here. So we'll get into the video, and we're going to skip most of the medical part. So we're not going to go through all of this. I said we're going to, hold on, we'll go to the live chat and take some comments and questions before we get into this. I don't know what that's about. Yes. Chris G, thanks for being a member, says, how about he was mad that someone didn't use the smart thermostat, right? Yeah, Randy says, oh, geez, what is he grifting off of Christians for? Well, it's not so much grifting off of Christians. I think he's still grifting off of his New Age crowd, but he's running out of material so bad that he's going into Christian mythology now. Yeah. All right, 1 second here. Let's take some more comments and questions. Yeah, it is a bus stop. It's a bus stop at Kensington and Allegheny. Look it up in Philadelphia. Chuck Bam thinks everything is wonderful under Bidenomics. I don't know about that. Shooting up the middle of the street. Yeah, there's a lot of shootings there. Happens, right? I agree. Nelson Morales says City Scene really brings it home, but David is heartless. This is how disconnected he is. He's living in $1 million mansion complaining about how terrible and tough his life is, while he's got thousands of dollars worth of very expensive steaks. And by the way, maybe it's just because I'm on the carnivore diet, Nelson Morales, but I am keenly aware of how expensive meat has become. In fact, my missus, we just had pot roast yesterday. And we haven't had pot roast in like 4 months or 5 months. And I asked my wife, she asked me a couple of times, well, what do you want for Sunday dinner? And I would say pot roast. She goes, we don't have any. Well, get some. She said, no, it's too expensive. So we have to wait for a big sale to have some pot roast here in my household. And I can't tell you how long, 60 pounds of ribeye bison steaks would last me. And by the way, we're so cheap, that's 8 meals we get because there's 4 of us. We get 2 meals, 2 days worth of meals out of that pot roast. And sometimes if there's a little bit of pot roast left, I make beef stir-fried rice out of the little bit of leftovers. We stretch, right? This guy is so out of touch. He has no idea how hard everybody's struggling. He's wondering why the money that he used to just collect hand over fist isn't there anymore, and crying and complaining about how terrible his life is while people are starving, people are getting evicted, people are losing their homes, people are living in tent cities, people are addicted to drugs, right? All over the place. It is rough out there right now. He wants $333 though. Like $333 is a lot of people. Is Kensington where they invented the lock for laptops? No, but it's one of those kind of places. Yeah, definitely. The government warned us about wants us eating bugs, not meat, by 2030. That's why it's so expensive. Could be. Yeah, and people are bathing in pee. Yeah, you gotta do that to get the superpowers, right? 60 pounds of ribeyes would last me 60 days if I did one a day. Yeah, I agree. Bottled water, you have some vegetables, one a day, and that's eating good, right? But for him to be begging for money while he's got 60 pounds of, it's not just ribeye steaks, it's bison ribeye steaks, $40 a pound steaks. He's got 2 months worth of 40 $40 a pound steaks in his freezers while he's begging. When's the last time you had $2,500 worth of bison ribeye steaks in your freezers, bottled water? Right? Maybe these people should go buy themselves bison ribeye steaks with their $333 instead of giving it to David Wilcock. I mean, just an idea. Call me kooky. And by the way, I have nothing against somebody being paid for their time or their work or their effort or their energy, but not when you're lying to people. And he's lying about getting these prophecies from the Archangel Michael. And any minister would agree with me. Any rabbi, Jewish rabbi, would agree with me. Any imam from Islam would agree with me. Any Catholic priest would agree with me. Any biblical scholar would agree with me. He can't be talking to the Archangel Michael because the information in his very first book was already wrong. And that means he fails the test of a prophet. He's not in communication with angelic beings. He might be in communication with some demonic beings that are telling him they're angelic beings, but he's not in communication with angelic beings. Ask any minister, imam, about the test of a prophet, or Jewish minister. It applies to all 3 major Abrahamic faiths, which means billions of people's religions all over the world agree with me. David Wilcock is not communicating with angels. And again, why would an angel say, go take this secret, sacred information and sell it to stupid people for $333? It's absolutely ridiculous. But welcome to the wacky world of Wilcock. Let's get into it, friends. And we're not going to do much of this. I think I covered most of what I wanted to say.
All right, folks, I'm here, and it says that we're live. And usually when we get to this point, everything is good, and there's no further problems. So welcome to the show.
He has problems on every stream.
Thanks for joining us. And this is about my journey to End Times LA to film the movie Levitation. Now, this has been quite a week that I've just had. I really didn't want to be doing a video right now.
I had a terrible week. I had a crazy week. It was a terrible week. Oh, and by the way, I did want to just mention, it's one thing to be irresponsible and be giving people medical advice when you're not a doctor, not a nutritionist. By the way, somebody could quit eating somebody could follow his instructions and have serious health problems and complications, and he could be held liable for that. It's a huge liability. That's why you're not allowed to give medical advice on YouTube unless, you're a trained professional, educated professional. But it is what it is. And then also the irresponsibility of having millions of followers and putting out stuff like this, right? We need to have a minimum of 3 weeks worth of food. Well, what if somebody that didn't have any money had to go borrow money because they thought this information from David Wilcock is correct? Or what if somebody spent their last money stocking up on food? I mean, worse things can happen. But if you don't have 3 weeks worth of groceries, if you don't have money for 3 weeks worth of groceries, you put it on a credit card. Now they have to pay interest because David Wilcock lied to them about the 10 days of darkness nonsense. And they wasted money on 3 weeks worth of food that they didn't need to have on hand because none of this shit happened. It's completely and totally irresponsible for him with a huge following to be doing this stuff. But let's get back to his ego fest here.
Crazy sore throat. I only probably want to do an hour or less because, the more I talk, the more it's going to hurt my voice.
You ever notice he's always sick?
To kind of get on camera and talk to you a little bit about what's happened to Los Angeles. Wow.
When I was in the music business, occasionally I would come across a band member in my band or another band playing the shows with us that was always sick. And to me, that was like a cop-out. In case I suck tonight, well, I'm really sick, guys. He's always sick. And he's giving health advice. And by the way, he's telling people not to eat wheat. Then he's telling people he's constipated. You see the problem with giving people medical advice? Why are you telling people not to eat wheat when you're constipated, bro? Like, I get it, but come on, man. Like, maybe you need fiber. Maybe you need to eat wheat, and that's why you're constipated, David Wilcock. Maybe you shouldn't be giving people medical advice. They'll end up constipated like you, eating that diet you're on, because apparently it constipated you.
Wow. So for starters, hello. Before we get into all that kind of stuff, let's see if I can maybe amp up some color on this track here. Oh yeah, look at that. See, I get some more brightness.
Yeah, because after you go live is the best time to adjust the cameras.
Very good. All right, so we just got done with a very important project, and that was something I've been delaying for, I don't know, a couple years, and that is the actual filming of our movie Levitation. Now, what is Levitation? Well,
yeah, fiber. You need fiber or you get constipated.
When I was going through,
he's telling people not to eat any fiber.
I was working with Ancient Aliens, of course.
Too many steaks.
That's Prometheus Entertainment. The parent company is A&E. And there was a very specific rule, which was that I was not allowed to associate extraterrestrials and angels. Those two things, those two topics were not allowed to be combined. And I was told specifically that if I mentioned angels, it would be cut from the show if it was in the context of extraterrestrials. Now,
yeah, and what he's saying here makes absolutely no sense, because guess who did an episode of Ancient Aliens on aliens and angels? Ancient Aliens did. And I could show, if I can find it real fast, I'll show it to you. So he's lying here as well. He can't even keep track, right? I'm not going to be able to find one. They did an episode on angels, relating it to aliens, essentially. Ancient Aliens did talk about angels. So I think he's completely and totally inaccurate and incorrect here. we'll save that for another
This
time.
is very interesting because there's a lot of really great information out there about the idea that there are definite connections between what we would think of as angels and what we would think of as, extraterrestrials. And
No, there's not a lot of really great evidence, and usually those things are separate.
so, well, what's the big deal, you guys? How come you don't want me to talk about this stuff? Isn't that kind of suspect?
Yeah, so Ancient Aliens let him talk about all kinds of other nonsense, but not this. Come on. This is just a way to drama it up and make it sound like this is important information. People were trying to withhold it.
Well, you can.
And the sniffing through this thing. Jesus Christ, dude. Like, blow your nose before you go live.
Speculate for yourself.
Then he also talks about how he can go for 4 hours and not make one mistake and not require any edits. He sniffed so much through this. If I was a producer, I would have to cut all the sniffs. So he's lying there as well. He can't go 4 hours and not require any edits. He sniffs every few minutes. And what is he sniffing about? Through the whole thing.
And there's certainly a lot of evidence out there today showing that these guys running the media entertainment world are not necessarily so interested in promoting any types of traditional values.
Yeah, play on everybody's fear and suck up to the Trumpers who like traditional values somehow, from a man who was divorced several times, right? I guess, and cheated on his wife with a porn star. That's what we want, traditional values.
So I'm very, very excited about what we've done with this film. I handed it off. It's directed by Michael
Another sniff.
Mazzola, and so I created a treatment and created essentially data outline. And I said, if we could get all this into one movie, this is going to be like the greatest movie ever. Now,
no, it's not. It's going to be like the boring Catholic movies that you watched in school if you went to Catholic school, because it's about Catholic levitating saints, just with David Wilcock, right? Yeah, what's traditional about calling angels aliens? And thanks for being a member, Chris G. I have no idea. Yeah.
As far as post-production and when is it going to be released, could be up to 4 months from now.
Well, he probably got a big shot of money for this in advance, though, so he doesn't need your money for his books, his crappy books that aren't from the Archangel Michael.
Could put us into February or March. It might not take that much time. So we've gotten a lot of different people to speak on this, and it's a fascinating subject. There's so many different cases of levitating saints that, again, if you actually look at the history of the Catholic Church, then you see many people getting canonized where they are made into a saint. They are now called.
Here he gives completely inaccurate information again.
A saint, and it's because they achieved some type of superhuman feat of some kind.
No, he's completely and totally wrong here. Saints are not canonized because they get superpowers. Saints are canonized when miracles can be proven, when it can be proven that they were involved in or created miracles. Would, I guess, levitating be considered a miracle? Yes, by the Catholic Church. And by the way, he is correct here. There have been several saints, including Simon Magus, canonized by the Catholic Church because they were witnessed levitating or flying. Yeah, flying. Anyway, he always takes one grain of truth and then stacks on top of it his nonsense.
And what's also very interesting about this is that the people who were achieving these feats typically were
sniff
prayerful. They're actually doing something that doesn't get glamorized by the media.
I'll be right back.
Again, I wasn't allowed to talk about this. So never even got to do that.
Let's talk about angels.
He wasn't being encouraged to pursue anything having to do with angels. So it took a long time to really understand what was going on.
Angels.
But when we look at the literature, for example, in the case of the second Buddha, Padmasambhava, there were 23 devotees that he had who were apparently flying with him as a group.
Yeah, Chuck, that's called a
They would
relic.
get together.
Interesting.
They would levitate.
Yeah, they'd hang out together and fly around together.
And they literally could fly through the air together. So this is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. That's amazing.
Let's have some comments. You know, I feel like reading your comments, even though you're going to insult me and probably make me feel bad. Okay, how much snow did you?
Yeah, by the way, I was monitoring this live chat. He was getting reamed in there. And by the way, I seen some of you misfits in there. I seen you misfits from Truthseekers in his live chats. And by the way, I just want to say that I have never, or I will never encourage you or anybody to go and troll him in his live chat. I think there's enough people that are starting to ask too many questions that he doesn't want to answer. You don't need to do that. But hey, I support your constitutional rights to free speech and expression. So
Did you get up there? Oh my God. Look, right now the snow is crazy. We've got probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches.
4 or 5 inches. They got a light dusting of snow. Snowfall in Boulder, Colorado for the past week. Yeah, I don't know that I could get an accurate. I'm not getting an accurate. They got a light dusting yesterday, whatever that means. 4 or 5 inches. I'm dying here in the woods, in the mountains, in an uninsulated $1 million cabin.
And I kind of wanted to get
Keep
through
sniffing.
this
Why does
story
it keep
about how
sniffing?
depressing-
Hold on, I'll be right back. We gotta talk about aliens
my
now.
trip to LA was, because what I've really decided is I can't live there anytime soon. I mean, right now it's freaking cold
Sniff,
here. I've got
Sniff.
base layers on, and I am trying really hard to not go outside more than I have to. So, like, for example,
He's got base layers on. Like he's living out in Alaska with no heat, or he's living in a mansion. He's probably sitting around in his boxer shorts and a t-shirt with the heat cranked to 80. There's no way that he's hanging out at his house wearing ski pants and shit. I'm sorry he's lying here.
I have
Sniff.
the warmest alpine boots you can get, the high altitude Mount Everest boots.
He bought the good
I've got
boots.
base layers. I've got ski pants. I've got the big winter jacket, the
Base
winter hat,
layers,
the
yeah.
winter gloves.
He's
doing
sitting
all
around
that
his house
stuff
in
right
4
now, guys.
sweaters trying to survive.
It is
Storm Crow.
freaking cold outside. When I woke up this morning, it was 11 degrees. 11 degrees is not exactly, let me do it on a close-up. 11 degrees is not exactly what you want.
It wasn't 11 degrees.
This is not the kind of fun that I wanted to be
He
having.
lied about how cold it was. The low yesterday, where his house is, was 22 degrees, 21 degrees. So he's lying, saying it was twice as cold as it was. Is this so you make, does this make you feel bad for him? So you give him $300 for his crappy books? What platform does he stream on? It's on YouTube. Just search David Wilcock in the YouTube live stream. And by the way, I'm a terrible show host. I'll add, when I get a chance, I'll add his original video. I'm using a mirror of it so we don't have to sit through the commercials.
And so when my divorce happened 2 years ago, I couldn't get out of here. I got stuck here because I just couldn't
Yes,
afford
it
to live
will.
anywhere else. And I also wanted to be in a place
It
that
should, Anna.
was safe, in a place that had all of my preparedness supplies. I've got firewood. I've got, 2 months worth of bison ribeye steaks and 2 freezers I've got out in the garage.
2 months worth of bison ribeye steaks in 2 freezers he's got out in his garage. And he wants you, stupid people, to give him money. $333, please. I need the 333. I need the $333. Don't worry about the fact that I got like $3,000 worth of bison steaks, expensive, good shit, in my 2 freezers. I got 2 freezers full of steaks. You losers, send me more money. Oh, by the way, I had a bison steak. I don't think it was a ribeye though. I think it was a strip steak. But anyway, my missus, she takes very good care of me. And it must have been on an extreme sale. But yeah, I think last month or something, I had a bison steak. And they're goddamn delicious. And why should David Wilcock have 2 months worth of them bitches? I can't remember when I had a bison steak before the last one I had last month that my wife kindly gave me. Right? Maybe my birthday or something. No, I don't even think no. It might have been years, right? Oh, and by the way, David Wilcock collected hundreds or perhaps thousands of dollars. We saw, let me share this tab. So look, I don't need 36 pounds of 1.5 inch steaks, but can I get one bison ribeye steak for tonight's broadcast? That would be $41.70. Praise the cash, bitches. I deserve. If David Wilcock can have 2 months worth of bison ribeye steaks, which amounts to like $3,000 worth, he's got 2 freezers full. I don't need 2 freezers full, but I would eat one. And then I'm okay for like a year, right? I don't need another one until next year, right? And he's collecting thousands of dollars in super chats while he has thousands of dollars worth of bison ribeye steaks. Price per pound, $41.70. I don't even think they're that high if you go to the discount supermarket. But I should be able to earn enough for one single steak. If he's got 60, he's got 60 steaks. Al Warrior with kind of generous $2. That'll get us some hamburger. We thank you for your contribution, Al Warrior. Praise the cash, bitches. Got to praise the cash. Thank you, Al Warrior, for your kindness, generosity, and support in helping us to praise the cash. This is important. We're trying to raise $41 so that I could get one bison ribeye steak. Since David Wilcock has 60 of them bitches in 2 freezers, I just want one. That's it. I'm not greedy. I just want one bison ribeye steak. A 1.5 incher, $41 a pound. Thank you, Al Warrior. Anna Louisa says, Stephen, start channeling. You'll be given donations. People love to be lied to. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. All right, let's go back. I'm sorry. He triggered me. You know why? I'm on a carnivore diet, right? And I'm getting so sick of everything that I've been eating. Mostly what I've been eating is chicken thighs, boneless chicken thighs, chicken wings, ground meat, ground beef. I had some ground venison. Yeah, David. Some of us don't have millions of dollars or thousands of dollars to just buy $3,000 worth of meat. We got to go out in the woods and kill that sucker and drag it home and butcher it ourselves. Yeah, I ate some ground venison. And I've been eating some steaks once in a while, bacon. But I'd really love to have 2 months worth of bison ribeye steaks, but I don't need 2 months, just one. That'll be good. Break up the monotony of, burgers, ground meat, chicken, cheap pork chops, Yeah. All right, let's get back to this.
I'm ready. If anything goes down, I'm ready. So
he's ready. He's got $3,000 worth of bison steaks.
Country oasis where actually there's a relative amount of stability here, and then take off and go out.
No, I'm not constipated. No,
the largest populated area of the
like
West Coast of the United States.
I got no problem when it comes to that.
I thought I knew what LA was all about, but when I got out there, my whole world got turned upside down. And I had originally booked a week.
Yeah, I'm not.
But I was so stressed out. So
stressed out. He had to run home from LA because he got so stressed out. Chicken breasts, says Al Warrior. Yeah, I've been eating some chicken breasts, but I got to add butter to them or something because chicken breasts are not very fatty. And when you're on the carnivore diet, what you really want is protein and fat. So you want fatty meat as much as possible. Stormcrow could be right. I don't believe Wilcock has 2 months worth of bison steaks. He exaggerates and lies about everything. Good point. I did not think of that. Where's the beef? Yeah, I have some steaks. I had a pot roast yesterday. And once a week, I'm breaking my diet. I had my wife's wonderful mashed potatoes, and I literally licked the plate. Like I only had a little bit of mashed potatoes, not a huge pile. Anyway, we'll get back to this nonsensory. He had a run home from L.A.
by how incredibly aggressive everybody was.
Everybody's so nasty.
I actually left early. I felt really bad because I had a wonderful host. We were having these amazing conversations. We were hanging out. We were,
thank you,
taking
Nelson.
walks around the neighborhood. But by
Nelson Morales with Kind and Generous $4.99 says, "Enjoy your steak, Steve, and keep making us laugh. Your yelling is hilarious." Well, thank you for your kind. Hey, man, we're up to $7. I can taste that bison steak now. Praise the cash, bitches! Praise it! We're going to get a bison steak. Yo, I will film myself eating the bison steak. I will bring it in here and live stream me eating the bison steak. I will do that, Nelson Morales. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. It is much, much appreciated.
By day 4.
Hey, I'm sure I could get some kind of steak for $7. May not be bison, but we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the show goes. I have an attitude of gratitude, and great things will come. If David Wilcock can have 2 months worth of 8-ounce or whatever ounce ribeye steaks, not 8-ounce, 16-ounce, right? You want the big one, right? I could get one, and I will eat it live on stream and make fun of David Wilcock while I do it.
I had to go. And there was a whole bunch of really strange things that happened.
They weren't that
kicked
strange.
Me out the door. But again, let's read a little more of your comments here. So,
here's one of the things. He claims that he's talking to angels and he has all this secret, sacred knowledge about what's going to happen. And instead of talking about that, why is he not talking about that? Oh, because this garbage that he puts out is just a teaser to get people interested, to give him the $333 and get behind the paywall. So he just rambles, these things that happen to him are not that big of a deal. Most people won't even mention it publicly. You might mention it to your wife or something like, oh, I had a really rough trip or whatever. But you don't live stream about it for an hour and complain the whole time. It's pretty bad. It's pretty ridiculous. Al Warrior says, I've been down. Eat a cow from Linda Moulton Howe. She killed those. I don't care what anybody says, Al Warrior. She killed those cows with a shovel. She definitely killed those cows with a shovel.
Somebody says the weather is dry even at 11 degrees.
There we go.
Why is there a black screen? I don't know. I mean, it looks fine to me. If you're seeing
sniff. Anthony Peterson with a kind and generous $2 says bison meat is all free range in the USA. Well, that must mean it's good for you. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. It is much, much appreciated. Praise the cash, bitches. I'm going to get one bison steak. And you know what? I'll be happy. I don't need 2 months worth in my 2 freezers in my $1 million mansion. Just one bison steak.
Being black screen, I don't know. Prometheus Productions, the light bringer. Hey, I didn't say that. Kazakhstan crashed out 3 times on a live stream. I came here to check if all live streams on YouTube were messed up. Well, I don't know. Sorry if you guys aren't seeing it, but it looks like everybody has some degree. Somebody said if it's not working, just reload the page.
You know what? Every time he goes to the live comments, we should all flood his live chat and tell him his microphone's not working, or the screen is black. Somebody's messing with him here, and he's falling for it. It's pretty interesting. Linda Moulton Howe sells dried out cattle for $333, says Al Warrior. Oh boy.
Tell us more about LA. Okay.
Bison jerky. That sounds good.
Well,
bison anything sounds good.
This was bad. Okay. The first thing that happened is that I lost my phone at the airport.
Oh no.
Because the team I was working with did something I would never normally do. They checked me in online. I don't
his
ever
wife
do that
left him, so he tells his
I don't think it
viewers.
makes any difference. You're still
My
going to
wife
go
left.
to the counter. You're going to have to show ID. You're going to have to do the baggage check. This is not stuff that
By the way, I found her on Instagram. She's got her own grifts going. People want me to interview her. She's not going to come here, but I'll ask her. I want to know why she left. Is it because David Wilcock couldn't make her come? That's what I'm guessing. David Wilcock could not make a woman come, so she left.
In the habit of doing.
Ooh, that's kind of mean.
And I was really scattered because
I apologize for that.
I found out at the last minute that our shoot time was the following morning at 10:30. We could only get the shoot Monday morning at 10:30 in the morning. For being a member. So I got to fly myself out to LA on Sunday.
I don't think so.
I had to lie to the dog sitter. I got that all straightened away. Had to fly out to LA, and then, I have supposedly this Airbnb that I rented. It looked great online. And that's kind of what always happens, right? Is you look at these pictures and you say, oh, yeah, this looks freaking awesome. This looks like this amazing place. It's up on a hill. It's got this big view of Glendale, which was the part of LA that I was going to.
By the way, if you check, I checked on Airbnbs in Los Angeles. For $4,000, you're basically getting a mansion. So is he so arrogant that he had to leave his $1 million, his $2 million, $1 or $2 million log cabin mansion in Colorado? And hey, I'm not staying at some filthy hotel room. I'm going to rent a mansion for the week in Los Angeles. It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah. He got a new one, though, A-Ghost. He says that he lost his phone, and later he says he has his phone. Oh, boy, your bison steak will be more credibly earned than all of Wilcock's blathering shyster bison steak, says aw. Kind and generous $4.99 super chat. Well, we thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. And we're now up to $14. I'm getting some kind of steak with that. We thank you all for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. It is much, much appreciated. Yeah, if he can have 2 months worth of bison steaks, then get out your wallets. Praise the cash, bitches. I want at least one of them bitches, and I'm going to eat it on stream and talk about David Wilcock while I'm eating it. That's what I'm going to do. I will definitely do that. There you go. Look at that. We're up to more. Al Warrior, the kind of generous $5, always supporting when I can. Cheers, Stephen. Yeah, longtime show supporter. Al Warrior's been here since the very start of this shit show. I'm surprised you made it this whole way, Al Warrior. Praise the cash, though, bitches. I'm getting me a bison steak. I can't believe it. That's awesome. I'll get to see how David Wilcock lives for one day at least, right? For one day, one meal.
Wrong, right? Well, what could go wrong? Well, everything went wrong. But let's go back to the airport first, because this is the craziest, most negative travel experience I've ever had in my entire frickin' life.
You ever notice about him that everything is melodrama? He is like a drama queen. He's worse than any woman. You know how women, they kind of like tell you this big, long story and they make, some women, not all women. Oh, man, I'm going to get myself in trouble now. Forget it. I mean, he's always complaining about how terrible everything is. And everything's so dramatic with him, right? He's a drama queen. Like, oh, I had a terrible trip to Los Angeles and stayed at $4,000 Airbnb and smelled like cats.
Okay. I am not kidding. This was the most negative experience of travel that I've ever had.
Was this worse than the time that the smoke detectors went off in his house? Because he said that was the worst day of his life. Was this worse than that? Was this worse than smoke detectors going off?
So, look, I don't know what to tell you guys. I just would say don't go. Right now, don't go to LA. But we'll get to that in a minute. So the first thing that happens is I drive all the way to the airport, which is an hour and 10 minutes. That was fine. Nothing really that eventful happened.
Is it me, or has he sniffed more during this live stream than he has even in previous ones? He's just... So I got to the airport and he sounds just like somebody that is, let's just say, amped up telling a stupid story, right? You ever go to some party and there's always some guy doing lines and he's always too like uppity and he exaggerates everything and he's telling this stupid story that only he thinks is a good story. This is what we're witnessing.
Happened. And I get to the airport and they had checked me in online. So now you're supposed to check in with your cell phone. Well, this is where the problem, you can see if I call it a cell phone, that dates me right there. I don't call it a mobile or anything else. So I get there and I put my phone on some kind of countertop, and then I just freaking walked away and I left it there.
You know,
because I got to check in with my phone, but then that didn't work because the boarding pass didn't work. We're like, sorry, it's not scanning. Okay, well. So the next thing you know, and I'm always worried about the cell phone because it's got a really serious amount of electromagnetic frequencies.
Oh my God.
And I used to always carry it in my right pocket. Okay. Well, I, like many other people, just didn't really think too much about EMF or radiation. And I just did this behavior and I felt fine with it. And I did it for many years. I lived in LA for 14 years. During that time, it was not like it is now. It's gotten much, much more aggressive, as we'll get to in a minute. But during COVID, for whatever reason,
oh my God,
I just said, you know what? I've lived my whole life. I've eaten really healthy. I've eaten really organic my whole life. I've never deviated from this. But during COVID, things are so crazy, and I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to wear any masks. I hardly ever did. I hardly ever went anywhere. I never left the house.
I've never done this, so I don't know if I'm going to get. Oh, let's see here. Hold on. Did anybody ever see this before? Tom Segura talking about. Oop. Oh, hold on here. Tom Segura talking about this.
You ever meet somebody and they're so boring you feel like they poisoned you? Like you're talking to them and you're like, I feel like I'm dying right now.
And I think you did it. That's David Wilcock right now. Like, come on, dude. You're supposed to be talking to angels and aliens, and you got all these government insiders, and all you can talk about on your live streams is how terrible your plane ride was and how you lost your phone. It's
so let's
ridiculous.
just get takeout. Let's just order takeout. You know, that'll be great. Let's just get takeout to the house. Order it to the house. You know, what could go wrong? Well, what started to go wrong was that after only really, I don't know, maybe 5 months of eating that restaurant food every day, or a lot of the time, I couldn't tie my shoes anymore. I couldn't freaking tie my shoes. Now, whoa.
Yeah, and here's another thing. While you're grifting for hundreds of thousands of dollars, when's the last time that you ate 5 months worth of takeout food every day? He just said that he ate 5 months worth of takeout food every day. He looks constipated in this shot right here. He looks constipated. He definitely looks constipated in this one. He ate takeout restaurant food for 5 months, right? But he needs your money. When's the last time that you said, you know what? Making dinner's tough every day. I'm just going to eat restaurant takeout food from Grubhub or whatever for 5 months straight. Like I said, he collects all this money from stupid people and he spends it on himself, living a lavish lifestyle. And by any measure, eating 5 months worth of takeout food from restaurants. Notice he didn't say like pizzas and cheap takeout food from restaurants, but he needs your money, right? He needs your money.
What do you mean you couldn't tie your shoes? Well, I mean, you know,
and then he couldn't tie his shoes because of the restaurant food. He ate so much restaurant food and got so fat, he couldn't tie his own shoes. And then he says he made his wife do it.
To tie your shoes, you have to be able to bend over enough
He made his
to
wife
reach your
do
foot.
it.
So the only way that I would even have a chance of doing that was to sit in a chair. But as far as like standing and bending over, I couldn't get more than halfway down. And so it was like every part of my range of motion below about halfway down was completely locked up. Now that is an absolutely terrifying thing to go through.
Thanks, Miss Tessa Marie.
It's just, it was so insane.
Nice avatar.
And I was having my wife, Elizabeth, tie my shoes for me.
Made his wife tie his
Really
shoes.
a big problem. So this is when I started my journey into therapeutic massage.
This is great. Then he took a journey into therapeutic massage. But could you imagine? I wonder why his wife left him. Could you imagine? He gets up in the morning and maybe she's still sleeping, like she's trying to sleep in. But David, he says he gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning to work on his nonsense books. You know, nonsense books don't just write themselves. So he gets up at like 6 o'clock in the morning and she's still sleeping. Like, wake up, bitch! Somebody's got to tie my shoes. I'm too fat. I can't bend over, bitch. Wake up! Tie my shoes. Maybe. I'm just saying that's a possibility. Wake up! You got to tie my. I'm too fat. I've been eating this restaurant food for 5 months. So I got too fat. I can't bend over. Can't tie my own shoes. Wake up, bitch! Tie the shoe! You gotta tie my shoes! Wake up! Come on! Tie them! Puts his feet in her face, throws the shoes at her, the socks. Put my socks on too! I'm too fat! It's just so ridiculous.
Because it turns out that when I was in 5th grade, these so-called friends of mine pushed me down.
Now, again, he's supposed to be talking to angels, right? And have all this secret, sacred information. But that's behind a paywall. He can't talk about that. So now he's going to tell a story about some people pushing him down a hill on a sled.
The ever dangerous and elusive Monkey Hill. This was the most dangerous ski hill in my town of Scotia, New York. It was way down on the edge of Collins Park next to the fence. And it was a very, very serious and precarious drop. So they shoved me down my snow saucer. I had 5 so-called friends who did this to me when I was in 5th grade, and I end up not actually taking, you're supposed to lean in when you hit this thing that's like a turn. It's like tobogganing. You gotta use your body weight. I didn't know that. So
this is funny. Oh, no, I found the wrong one. I found a Monkey Hill in New Orleans. Monkey Hill, Scotia, New York. Jeez. I don't know if I could find Monkey Hill. Let's keep going with the video while I look.
They sent me down really fast, actually dangerously fast, because they all gave me a running start. And I knew Monkey Hill was very dangerous. I knew you're not supposed to go down Monkey Hill, but they basically forced me to do it. And I think they would have beat me up if I didn't let them do
Oh,
it.
no, they're going to beat him up.
Anyway, I shot down the hill and I hit that ramp and I ended up not using it like a turn, but actually like an exit ramp. And I caught air. And I caught so much air that I dropped down the entire vertical drop of Monkey Hill, which was about 30 feet in the air. And I landed on my saucer and it shattered into like 30 pieces. And I had massive, massive leg damage. All the musculature inside my right leg basically turned into something like stewed tomatoes, let's say.
Oh God, his legs turned into stewed tomatoes, and then later he ate 5 months worth of restaurant food, so he couldn't bend over.
An event that changed my whole life, because after this happened, I got much darker circles under my eyes. I couldn't walk straight anymore.
And it couldn't be all the sniffing that's causing those dark circles, right? Or the binges.
My right leg was always off to the side. I couldn't roller skate because I couldn't get my legs to go straight. So I had real trouble with that.
Couldn't roller skate.
And I had been
couldn't roller skate.
Hobbling around my whole life. So when I got to Colorado to go to Naropa for a graduate school program, I ended up not getting accepted, but I went out there to apply. I met this guy named Carl, who was a metaphysical person, and he told me...
I think he just makes people up. Like, these are his imaginary friends from the wacky world of Wilcock.
Yeah. You're going to need something called rolfing. I'd never heard of rolfing before, but it had been pioneered here in California.
And Boulder, Colorado.
And in Boulder as well.
Yeah, the wackadoo capital of the world.
I said here in California. I'm not in California. You see, being in LA got me thinking like that again. Anyway, it would end up being many years before I got rolfing. I started to get it in Sedona. And what I eventually discovered was that most of my right leg had been atrophied and that the tissue wasn't even alive. I didn't have blood flow. going through most of the muscles in my leg.
You would die, or you would need your leg amputated if this were true.
And
I think that somebody nailed him earlier. He exaggerates about everything. So maybe he, went down a hill a little too hard and hurt his leg. But come on, it's a big cry from that to all the tissue in my leg was dead and there was no blood through. The watcher is here and says the whole stream was like watching a car crash in slow motion. I know they're getting worse and worse. Al Warrior just became a member. Praise the cash, bitches! Praise it! Thank you, Al Warrior. We'll put that's another $5 we could put towards the Bison Steak Fund. If you're just now joining us, and by the way, thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support, and for being a member. If you're just now joining us, David Wilcock says that he has like $3,000, 2 months worth of bison ribeye steaks in his freezer. 2 months worth, which would be a few $1,000s. I'm just trying to raise enough to get one bison ribeye steak tonight so that I can eat it on stream and talk about David Wilcock, right? I don't need 2 months worth of them, just one. We thank you all for your kindness, generosity, and support.
apparently this, for me, was the reason why I had dark circles under my eyes. So people have been asking me, David, you look so much healthier. Your eyes look so much lighter. You don't have this dark color under your eyes. And then some people are like saying, oh, it's all makeup. Well, no, it's not. I actually don't have the circles anymore. It's really amazing. And I'd gone to a cosmetologist and said, hey, is there any treatment you can do for this thing with my eyes? Because people,
if you have bad dark circles under your eyes, you don't go to a cosmetologist or a makeup artist. You go to a doctor, dude. And this is when it gets worse and worse, and he starts giving terrible, terrible medical advice. Terrible medical advice here, because now he's going to start telling people to vastly change their diet. Al Warrior with another kind and generous $2 super chat, and thank you for being a member. We thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. I'll do it, Freya Anderson. I'll eat blue chicken wings. I can get some dye. We can dye them. I'll eat them. I will definitely eat them, right? Derek says, or you just get some good sleep. Thank you for helping us to praise the cash. And we are now up to, we're trying to get to $40. We are now up to, we're up to $22. So we thank you all for your kindness, generosity, and support. We're going to get there. We're going to buy bites. I go to the discount supermarket. I might be able to get one for $22. Probably can.
people don't like it. They think that it makes me look bad. What can I do? And it turns out that
he's so concerned.
She was telling me you can't fix this cosmetically. You can't treat the skin and fix the problem. You actually have to go to the root of the issue. And the root,
because I always take medical advice from a makeup artist. DJ D's, thanks for being a member, and a kind and generous $6.66. Praise the steak, bitches! I'm gonna get a bison steak and I'm gonna eat it on stream with blue chicken wings. That's what I'm gonna do. Thanks to Freya Anderson's, yes, dining with David. Yes, thanks to Freya Anderson's kind suggestion. Thank you, DJ D's, for your kindness, generosity, and support. We're up to like $28. So we got it. If I have to pay the other $12, I'll do it. I'm getting one of them bison steaks that he's eating every day.
The issue, apparently, in her mind, was all internal and systemic.
Sniff.
So
well, that sniffing has nothing to do with the dark circles under his eyes.
One of the things that I did that really was a big game changer for me was I stopped eating grains. I stopped eating sediment.
All right. And now I have to stop this, because now he's going to tell people not to eat any grains. Specifically, he says to not eat wheat, which wheat is the basis of so many different things. People have been eating grains for tens of thousands of years. It's absolutely ridiculous. All right, we made it. Freya Anderson with a kind and generous $4.99 says, "Wangs and thangs. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. It is much, much appreciated." And Sandra McDonald with thanks for being a member as well with kind and generous $7.99 says, "Bison fundraiser." All right, I'm going to go through. I think we hit it. I think we hit the $40. Yes, $40 a pound bison steak, and I'll throw in the chicken wings. We have chicken wings. I gotta find some blue. Now I have to find some blue food coloring because I'm gonna eat the bison steak with blue chicken wings and talk about David Wilcock. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow night if I can run out and get one and get that set up. Oh, and by the way, I want to make sure that we take a moment to tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, we're gonna have a costume ball and a panel show. So you just show up in a costume and we're going to have worthless prizes for anybody that has the best costumes. Now he's going to complain about his phone. All right, 1 second. I'm just queuing this back up because I got to skip all the medical. You're not allowed to give medical advice if you're not a doctor on YouTube. At least I think so. One second here. Let me get this. All right. I think I skipped most of the medical stuff. So he spent an hour giving people terrible medical advice, which basically amounts to don't eat any grains. And you know, I am not a nutritionist, so I would not give you nutritional advice. I am not a doctor. I would not give you medical advice. But you sure as hell shouldn't take nutrition advice or medical advice from this ancient aliens clown. And by the way, I'm concerned enough about him giving this terrible nutritional information that I may contact YouTube and ask them, should a former star of Ancient Aliens be on YouTube on a public live stream giving people medical advice? Because he said if you eat these things, you'll die. What if people need wheat or grains in their diet because they have specific medical conditions that require fiber and grains in their diet? Who is he to tell people not to eat that or you'll die? And regardless of what I think of this man, he has a huge following and his followers will listen to him. So he could be doing some real medical harm here. He has a responsibility, right? Yeah, Buzzbomb says, "I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV." Let's start this back up.
Well, this was just the beginning of all the crazy stuff that happened. So
nothing crazy happened.
Party for me. The party actually happened last night.
Oh, we had a party.
I brought my costume. I had this great outfit, but I still don't have a phone. So now on the first night after the show, all we did is
I miss
go to the
Brad,
restaurant
Sandra.
and hang out and have fun.
I miss Brad.
Next day,
for those unaware, I've been on a carnivore diet for like 6 weeks now, or 7 or 8, maybe. Yeah, 2 months. No, I've been on it at least 2 months, maybe a little more. But I'm down 22 pounds, Sandra McDonald. I lost my entire spare tire. I don't know if that's good for you long term, though. So I have a doctor's appointment coming up, and I'm going to talk to my medical professional. And I just want to mention that we've been talking about a few people in the live chat, and I just recounted my personal experience with the carnivore diet. All I can tell you is from my own experience. I'm not giving medical advice or nutritional advice. Consult your healthcare professional. But for me, my personal experience was it was very effective for weight loss. I don't know. And I feel better. I got to say this, Sandra. I feel better right now than I have in 10 years. Like I have more energy. I'm sleeping better. I don't know what it is about that. But yeah, make sure that you consult your healthcare professional if you're going to make any dietary changes. Don't listen to a clown like this guy who's going to, this guy's talking to angels. He's also going to tell you what the best diet is for you. He doesn't know you. What if you have specific dietary needs? You can't just take advice from an idiot. not when it comes to your own health. And why does he get a pass? Other people would get their video nuked off of YouTube for doing this.
I was very tired and I was extremely exhausted from all the stress and all the crazy stuff. So I
try not to take
slept most
medical
of the
advice
day
from tweakers that bathe in their own
house
piss,
that I was staying in.
open their
She
third
wasn't
eye
there.
because an
She
angel
didn't have
told
any
them.
food in the house, so I wasn't eating anything. Then we had another hangout that night, and we had a wonderful conversation once again. Everything was good, but we didn't have dinner. And so all I'd had was
That
like
sounds good,
sushi
Jester
rolls
X.
and
Thanks for being a
sashimi
member.
and really hardly anything. So by the third day, the malnutrition really, really started to break my body down.
All he had is sashimi and sushi, which is expensive, right? Like I'm not, believe it or not, I love seafood. It's probably one of my favorite things on earth is seafood. But the one thing that I won't eat seafood wise is sushi. I never liked it. I've tried it 10 different, I've had like 10 times in my life where friends went out and they were getting sushi. Like, no, I'll get something else. No, try this. Oh, you'll love. No, I tried it. I do not like it. But sushi and sashimi is very expensive. So he's complaining he's had almost nothing to eat while he's eating expensive takeout sushi and sashimi. But he needs you to send him money. He needs you to send him money because he's deeply in debt while he's spending all this money on bison steaks, expensive sushi, eating takeout food from a restaurant for 5 months straight, spending $4,000 on meals and entertainment for himself. Like, dude, for a grifter, this guy is stupid. Like imagine somebody standing on a street corner with a Rolex and $300 sneakers on begging you for money. Would you give it to him? You'd be like, dude, sell the watch, sell the shoes. Maybe he should sell his bison steaks and stop eating expensive sushi while you're begging everybody else to pay your tax bills for you.
And I woke up and I could not get warm. I couldn't keep my feet warm. I couldn't keep my legs warm. I couldn't keep my arms warm.
He was malnourished.
Glendale had just plummeted. It got
All
really,
he had
really
was a
cold.
little bit of expensive sushi.
And I still don't have my phone
and
yet.
Sashimi, which is expensive.
So at this point, it's like, okay, I really got to start taking care of this stuff. So I better find a phone right now because I can't even talk to my team. And the only thing I can do is use, iChat on my laptop.
Yeah, I got to do this. I'm sorry. I'm petty. I'm just so petty. I got to do this. So all he had was some sashimi, which, by the way, is very expensive. It's not cheap. Sashimi is not cheap, and neither is sushi. It's very expensive. And in fact, hold on. I'm gonna tell you how much it is because I'm that petty. And he's crying that he doesn't have any money, right? Sushi Stop. Yeah. So he's complaining that he doesn't. You can get the sushi and sashimi combo. Yeah, here, $30. And that's probably on the low end. In Los Angeles, that's probably $50 or $60, right? You get your choice of sides, though. So when is the last time that you spent $30 on takeout on yourself? And are you on the internet begging people to pay your tax bills or buy your $333 books while you're buying $30 meals for yourself, or probably more? And I hate to be this petty, but it just strikes me as so funny that this guy's on the internet begging everybody for money while he is buying himself expensive takeout food constantly. He mentioned multiple times where he got sushi during that trip. So did he buy sushi for himself 3 times? That's $100. People are struggling right now. People don't have an extra $100, and he's complaining about how terrible his week is while he's buying himself $30 meals, $4,000 Airbnbs, renting cars because he's stupid and lost his own keys, buying a new phone because he's stupid and lost his phone. Is all of this everybody else's fault? We're all just supposed to pay for David Wilcock.
which at least I can text people. So I had some form of communication.
Oh God, I was without
So then I go to the
communication.
mall. And it gets even worse because the AT&T store won't let you go in.
Yeah, he's got a team, Buzz
Like, wait a
Bomb.
minute, are we back in COVID?
He's got a BS
What's going on here?
team. Now he's going to talk about the
The
lesbians.
AT&T store at this mall. So I was forced to wait in line with 2 people ahead of me.
He was forced to wait in a line with 2 people ahead of him. Look, listen to this rich boy, first world problem son of a bitch. I was forced. I had to wait in line with peasants. I had to wait in a line with 2 peasants ahead of me. I need money. I only got 2 months worth of bison steaks in my freezers right now.
Just to be able to even enter the store to start talking about getting my phone.
He had to wait in a line.
So I eventually end up sitting on the floor inside this hotel. Well, not a hotel, a mall.
And sit on the
And then
floor.
right here is this big sign in front of me, and it says, HIV/AIDS, no problem. Cancer, no problem.
Yeah, and I don't know what this is about. He saw, I guess there was a place selling funeral insurance in a mall or maybe a kiosk. Who knows?
Diabetes, no problem. Overweight,
It's
no
bizarre.
problem. Leukemia, no problem. You're freaking dying, no problem. And then in fine letters, it says, we help pay your funeral costs. No one is denied for coverage.
Now he's going to give everybody financial advice. So in one stream, he broke YouTube community service guidelines twice. You're not supposed to give financial advice. He did. You're not supposed to give medical advice. He did. I doubt you're supposed to give people nutritional advice. He did, even going so far as to saying, if you eat this, you'll die.
Coverage. Well, first of all, if they say we help pay your funeral costs, that means they're not paying the whole thing. They might only give you $2,000. So here's this thing that looks a lot like, hey, you know, maybe there's a big bunch of death going on right now, and they're profiting off of this.
Oh,
because the payments that
yeah,
you
he's
make
not profiting, but
per
those
month
damn
to
insurance
have your
people,
funeral insurance probably will exceed, if you live long enough,
they're making
the
tons of money.
$2,000 that they're going to do to put you in the cheapest coffin and throw you in the ground. So this is very morbid. I'm staring at this sign. I'm like, whoa. And I had lots of time to look at the sign because I was waiting a long time. Finally, he lets me into the store after, for some magical reason, he let this, I guess, LGBT couple in. Because I see what looks like 2 women, but one of them
Now
is
he's
very
gonna talk about
skinny
the
and has a
lesbians.
baby and a Bjorn.
Those damn
He's
lesbians!
wearing a mask.
I had to wait for
I
these
don't know why they
lesbians.
let them into the store, and they're just like hanging out, they're looking at all the phones, and they
This is
won't
so
leave.
stupid.
And then their baby starts going crazy. Their baby is having a tantrum, and they
Lesbians with a baby. What's that
The
about?
guy's like, you know,
I don't understand.
nobody's wearing a mask at all. In fact, the whole time I was in LA, the only people I saw wearing masks looked like LGBT. Believe it or not.
Yeah, only
That
those
was pretty
gay
fascinating.
people. Only those gay
And
and
then when he took
trans
his
people
mask
wearing
off,
masks.
I realized, oh, that's
Nobody
a
else.
guy. Because the jaw, okay, yeah, he's kind of got the right jaw. But he didn't look masculine whatsoever. He had no
You're
muscle
right,
mass. His
Fred.
body was incredibly thin and very spindly. And he looked like a gay woman. He really did.
Oh,
And his
God.
wife looked like a gay woman. So I'm like,
Yeah, this is interesting. He's going to start calling somebody else effeminate here. He's going to start saying that somebody else is not buff as him, right? Le Denier File Sync. Hey, Stephen, what can you tell me about Stevati Aerospace? It's they're being sued by creditors for not paying their bills. They're also being sued for being a Ponzi scheme and an investment scam. They've never produced a single product, and in recent court documents, they admitted that their only income is from a garbage dumpster company. The only income they have is from a garbage dumpster company, which rents their airplane hangar to store garbage dumpsters in. Dumpsters. Their business is in the dumpster. They also got caught lying and saying that they had all these wind tunnel contracts. Somebody filed FOIA requests. No. Also, the second in charge of that company is a man named Bill McEwen. Look up Amiga Incorporated and all his shady business dealings. David Wilcock hasn't addressed any of the court cases against Stevati Aerospace yet. He hasn't. Somebody asked him in his live chat if they were storing dumpsters in the airplane hangar. He didn't answer the question. You know why? Because my information is accurate and we are correct, and David Wilcock's Stevati Aerospace Company is in the dumpster. 2 years ago now, He was supposed to show everybody a working hover car prototype, right? And what do we get? Excuses. And it was supposed to have a free energy engine. What do we get? Plastic models that he 3D printed, right? Great. It's great. It's a great business. Stavati Aerospace hasn't produced a single airplane. They lied about working on laser weapons for the United States military. No, they weren't. Apparently, or allegedly, they lied about having wind tunnel contracts with the government and other prestigious labs. Somebody filed FOIA requests. No, they do not have any wind tunnel contracts. They've been called an investment scam and a Ponzi scheme in court documents where they admitted their only income was from a dumpster company, a few $1,000s a month. It is a complete and total shady company, if you ask me.
Well, isn't that interesting? So that's all going on. And then the guy says, oh, well,
just a tip.
We don't have any phones
Dude,
that have more than 128 gigabytes.
That's gross.
Space.
I don't want to think about him playing just a tip.
I already got more storage space than that just in my basic thing that I do. Oh, but that's all they got. And the only other thing I can do is have...
Oh, my God. He can only have a phone with 128 gigabytes. I don't even know what mine is. I think it's 32 gigabytes. Like, I have to take things off of it constantly, but I can't afford, a $1,000 iPhone like some people. David Wilcock.
Have them mail it to me. So then I find out, oh, well, in order to get your phone, now that we're going to give it to you, it has
I was
to be
forced to be in a line out of Louisa. I had to wait in line with peasants.
So this is the trick they do to get you to go shopping, is that you cannot get your phone for 15 minutes. Meanwhile, they're still, the lesbian couple is still, their baby is screaming away. I'm like, well, let's, hopefully 15 minutes from now, they'll be gone. They weren't. They were still there, believe it or not. So I spent 15 minutes walking around.
If you say so, stop
prepping. Should I get a massage? So thank God I had a meal. I ate sushi.
A lot of rumors about that. I don't know.
And I got this tickle when I was just walking around. I went into the bathroom and I'm like, oh, I got to go back.
Forget about it. We're waste
management.
I go back
just as the phone has come out of the vault. And then
oh, you're right.
I find out that, oh, well, the phone needs to download a software update before it's going to be usable. Okay. So then I look at the software update and there's a taskbar along there. And it's like, oh, I got to wait for this whole thing. And he says, oh, well, if you leave the store, the Wi-Fi won't work.
Oh, man.
So now I got to wait for this massive.
See what I mean? He's supposed to be a spiritual guru and he's crying and complaining like somebody's old crank dad, right? Does this sound like your old cranky dad? Or old cranky uncles? My dad's passed on, but I still got some old cranky uncles, right? And you ever make the mistake of asking them how they're doing? And that's a rhetorical question. You're like, oh, Uncle Georgie, how you doing? And then Uncle Georgie just starts bitching about everything that's gone wrong in his life for the past week. That's David Wilcock is now cranky Uncle George. Like, yeah, I couldn't get a phone, and then they made me wait in a line with these peasants, and there was a lesbian with a baby. It's cranky Uncle George. That's what we're witnessing.
Size software update to download. So once again, I got to walk through the whole mall, and eventually I came back, and eventually it was just about done. Then it has to install itself. That took more time. They are still in there. The gay couple is still in there. The baby is still
damn gays.
Finally, I got my phone. Finally, the phone is working.
He mentions gays on every street. What is his issue with gay people?
I was able to, type in the address of where I was because at this point I memorized the address of the house where I'm staying. But I didn't want to, I didn't want to get lost, and I didn't have any other way to get there unless my phone works. So of course I popped the address in. Thankfully, unlike my car GPS, which will not allow me to put that address in, so therefore I had no way to get home.
Baby started screaming after seeing his ugly mug.
The phone would let me do this, so thank God. So finally, I get all this stuff.
Sounds like entitled relatives. Yeah.
I go back outside. I'm walking through the parking lot. And I see what I think is my car.
Dang, lesbian whippersnappers, get off my lawn.
It's parked in the same place that I thought I had parked it. No problem. I got my phone. I want to go home.
Those
I want to
pesky gays again.
Make this situation less crazy.
Thanks for being a member. Yeah, those pesky gays.
I open up the door.
Oh, this is where it's taken.
And there's a lady in there, and I swear to God, she looked exactly like Fannie Willis. I mean, very, very similar.
This
like
is all planned out. He
disturbingly
goes to the
similar to Shane
close-up
Wolf.
before he does this.
Whoa, this has got to be something crazy. And she goes, "Ah!" Like that was, I swear to God, I open up the door and she goes, "Ah!" I'm like, whoa, okay, I got the wrong car. Sorry, it looks just like we got the same car. We got the same car. And I just like ran away because literally she goes, "Ah!"
I agree. Yeah.
Like, people are freaking crazy.
It's 2 hours of him. Well, it's an hour of him complaining, and then then an hour of him giving terrible medical and nutritional advice when he has no idea what he's talking about.
People are freaking crazy in Los Angeles. Like, and I'm also thinking,
and that's an issue. If you want to listen to him for medical or nutritional advice, look at how many times he's been wrong. He's been wrong about literally everything he's ever said in his whole career. He's the world's worst psychic. Who wants to get medical or nutritional advice from him?
Thinking like, if I was a criminal and I was like trying to hurt her, well, that type of reaction is only going to elicit more criminal behavior, not less. So, and I said to myself, something's going to be happening with Fanny. Something's going to be happening. And sure enough, there's been big developments just since that occurred.
The baby was scared of that big forehead, probably. Yeah.
So that was really, really funny and also really scary because I felt really bad. But it was also like she just had such an over-the-top.
You want to hear the most annoying sound.
Like some kind of demon or something. I'm like, okay.
Forehead is a menace.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to.
That's a meme right there. Yeah,
again.
I already
really make sure I got the right car before I try to open it up. And there was no way to tell she was in there. I mean, it was tinted out. You couldn't have known there was anybody in the car. And then it was after that, when I was driving back, that I got out on the road.
And then somebody tried to kill
him off. And then the next
thing, this is another 15-minute story of nothing.
This is all in the same drive on the way home. Okay, that's when that happened, on the way home.
Oh my God, his life is so terrible.
Then the following morning, I had to park in front of somebody else's house because all the spaces in front of the house that I was staying at were already filled. And I go out the following morning, and this guy has left a threatening letter on the windshield of my car.
Is there even an effing point?
Street parking is legal.
Is there even a point? Or is it just whiny crybaby fest?
He actually wrote,
"It's like an hour.
If you're
he
not
just
worried
bitches.
about my
He just
mobile home hitting
complains."
your car, then I'm not worried either.
Yeah, and I know what he did. He parked right on the edge of somebody's driveway or something that had a mobile home in the driveway. And you need swing room, and he's an idiot, so he probably parked right on the edge. He's up to about 600 in chats already. Yeah, $600, right? So he could buy more $40 a pound ribeye steaks, right? You gotta love it.
Oh, that's a threat. He threatened me. He threatened that he's going to hit my car, and he doesn't care what happens. It's got his name on it. I know his address.
No, you need swing room to get an RV out of a driveway, David Wilcock.
And I can sue this guy. Just like I could have sued the guy that was threatening me on the
road.
road.
Now he's going to sue everybody. Who does that sound like?
Tried to steal $4,000 from me. This was just crazy. So by that point, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I get that, Freya. Yeah, they have to pretend to like him.
Let's go back a little bit. I got my phone, and it just needs these massive
Mystery,
downloads.
There's never a
and
point.
Then,
yeah.
Of course, I maxed out on cloud storage space. I had too much space.
No parking
too much
space.
Oh, the humanity. 28 gigabytes. So I still can't get the phone to work. This is like the second or third night. The phone still isn't working.
There you go, Sandra. Yeah, thanks for being a member.
I was like, okay, the only way I'm going to get this phone to work is I got to start deleting all the videos off. Because I got to create enough space because it won't even let me do dictation.
David Wilcock makes
you try to hit something, it just goes black.
Uh-oh.
The phone is all screwed up. It's not working properly. I mean, thank God Google Maps worked.
Did he sue the lesbian couple? No.
Now it's like, okay, well, I got to go through and I got to delete a bunch of videos. So I start deleting videos. And of course, they're all videos of my ex-wife when we were very in love.
Oh, this is sad.
And everything was great. And so that creates all this sadness. And I'm getting all this kind of, trauma from looking at old videos when I was happier. And
I think all of this, see, you ladies don't understand this, but you men will understand. Everything that we are seeing for the past bunch of time from David Wilcock is him suffering from vaginal withdrawal. If you know any man that got used to a steady peace and then she suddenly left, like a divorce, which happened to him, then the male will suffer and likely go crazy from the lack of vaginal access. So David Wilcock is suffering from lack of vaginal access right now. And here he says he used to be happier. Yeah, when you were getting that peace, right? And by the way, I wonder how much his divorce is going to cost him. Do you know? I'm going to find out, because divorce records are public record.
And then the next thing you know, the guy calls me. My producer got first. The minute that my phone was like clear enough, he starts calling me, because now it could finally work when I got the storage below 120
He needs to get a piece, yeah.
And I just lost it. I just started
Sniff,
crying. I said, look,
sniff.
man, I'm just so cold. I haven't been eating.
Access
I've got this
denied,
massive
says
sore throat,
Free
and I can't stop
Bougainville.
coughing.
Yes.
And I'm just so exhausted, and I'm so tired, and everybody here is crazy, and they're all evil, and they're all wanting to like scream in your face and steal your money and rip you off and
Oh, it's just such a
get
terrible
aggressive
place
and cut
that he
you off
went.
on the road or kill you on the road. I
You
gotta
know,
get
what
the hell
a-
out of here. I can't do this. So the next thing you know,
What a drama queen. He goes to LA for 4 days, and this is what he comes back with to tell his followers. Not, hey, I had a great time. We filmed a new project. It'll be out in a few months. I hope you'll support it. Not, here's what the Archangel Michael predicted for today. You know, like he could do a live stream in the morning and tell us everything that's going to happen that day because he has divine knowledge, right? Not that, no. I went to LA and it was I lost my phone. Somebody tried to kill me on the road. There was lesbians there. And I didn't eat and I got constipated.
oh, it's like, okay, well, we can get you out on either 440 or 645.
The fire alarms and the crest straps.
I was sad about that because I wanted to hang out.
Well,
I
if his
wanted to have
teeth are
more time
fake,
with
you
friends.
don't
But
need
I
to
mean, by
whiten
this
them. They
point, I
just
hadn't had
stay
any
white
sleep.
as
I hadn't had
hell.
any food. My body is too cold. I'm just freaking out.
This
And
is
I
the
just
urban
now
version
got
of the
my
water
phone to work, but I'm
fiasco.
like,
Yes,
I don't even
Sandra
care
McDonald.
if the
Thanks
phone
for being a
works now. I
member.
just got to get the hell out of here. Then
For
we
a
got
guy
this
that
whole
doesn't like
little,
wet
holy crap,
lesbians,
I
he
lost
sure
my
is a
car
whiny
keys too. I don't
person.
think I have my car keys. What am I
Whiny
going to do when I get
princess,
back?
yes. Oh, he lost his car. I lost my car
So
keys.
we got the 6:35 flight,
It's so
and I had to go
boring,
to LAX
right?
because I'd originally landed at Burbank. So
Yeah,
now
what
I'm
a
on my way to
P-word.
LAX. Got everything packed up. The drive
Sniff.
was fine, but then I get there and it's like, oh my god,
I had to go in the airport.
this is crazy, and it's all, you know, so much
I
stress.
had to go in the
But
airport.
I was able to get checked in, get on the flight. You know, everything ended
It's
up
gonna be a long
fairly
flight.
well on the way back. I was sitting next to this guy who was a music producer, and he's like rolling his eyes when I have to get out of the seat
And
to
no
go pee.
nookie. Make
It's like,
it
well,
a dull bowl.
sorry, but you know, this is just in keeping with what's happening, which is that everybody is hostile, everybody is aggressive, everybody's pissed off,
He just wants
everybody
his
doesn't
wife
have
by
enough
his
time, they
side.
don't want to
Says
talk,
troll,
they don't want to deal with anything.
Thanks
They're
for
not
being a
dealing with the
member.
trauma of, oh wow, there's all this stuff going on with Israel and Hamas. It's terrifying. It's like the
Yeah,
eve
where
of
was
World
his
War III.
team? Why did
And I think honestly,
you know? And here's
being in
another
a
thing:
major metropolitan.
complaining that you didn't eat while you were on vacation, essentially in Los Angeles. He worked 1 day out of 4, right? He filmed for 1 day, and that means he just was on vacation for 3 days in Los Angeles. Complaining that you didn't eat when you claim that you have a whole team of people working for you. I once had a boss I had to remind to eat. I mean, I didn't have to, but he would skip lunch and he'd skip dinner and work right through. The guy would show up at 7 o'clock in the morning and he would work until 7 or 8 o'clock at night before he went home. I used to have to go in his office and say, "Do you want me to order you dinner or something?" And he appreciated that because he honestly would just work so much he forgot to eat. If you have people working for you that care about you, they'll make sure you eat. So he goes on this huge tirade about how he got constipated because he didn't eat and he was malnourished. Where's the team? Where's the people you're staying with? Where's the producer? Nobody could feed the poor little rich boy for 4 days. And by the way, I've done a 4-day water fast in my sleep. I didn't even flinch. Did I get hungry? A little bit, but you push through it and it's not a big deal. You can fast for 4 days easy, and I'm not Mr. Spiritual Guru, but he is. And here he is complaining, I didn't get enough to eat, and I only had $30 sashimi sushi meals 3 times.
Metropolitan area.
So
with all that
stupid.
psychic entanglement, and everybody's so worried
little
about
rich
the end of
boy.
the world. It's like, man,
Spoiler: the keys were in his pocket the whole
I
time.
just want to make sure I'm still on the air.
No, or he
Okay,
got
hang on.
snorted up and
You
forgot
never
where he
know.
put
You want to
him.
make sure. This was just so intense. So, you know, other than the guy complaining about getting up, everything was fine. And I got back, and then I got to the baggage carousel, and I got my suitcase, and I've been dreading this the whole time. Like, are the keys going to be in there?
Oh,
'Cause
this
I've
is
already been
another
through my
one.
whole
I'm so famous.
backpack, and there's
I'm
no
so
freaking
famous.
keys. After all the crap that happened, I get the thing off the carousel. I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted. And oh my God. I mean, I went through every zipper, every pocket. I don't even care. I'm like, screw it. I'm a public figure. Yeah, people could film me doing this, but whatever. I just
Yeah,
dumped all the
because
stuff out
everybody
on the
wants to
ground, writing
film
baggage
David
claim.
Wilcock looking through
No
a
keys.
suitcase at the airport.
Oh my God.
Like, oh my God, it's David
the hell do I
Wilcock
do
of
now?
Ancient Aliens fame
So I ended up renting
with a
another car. I rented a
suitcase
car
in an
in my hometown.
airport.
I had to drive
Imagine
back
that.
here, and I only drove back when I was, you know, not completely exhausted to get my real car yesterday. And that took like 3 hours. So I don't know. When you get that much resistance, I was thinking about maybe I don't want to be here in the winter. It's so cold. It's
Exactly.
But I'll tell you what. The only
Paul
thing that matters
Shields,
right now.
that's the point that I was trying to make. Paul Shields, thanks for being a member, says, yeah, I would expect a spiritual guru to have tried fasting and to be able to get through it without whining. Not David Wilcock, because he's a fake spiritual guru.
I was being someplace that's safe. And if it's safe for me to be in weather that's 15 degrees below zero, that's where I'm going to be.
It's not 15 below zero. It was 22 degrees Fahrenheit at his house yesterday.
There's a lot of really interesting stuff coming out.
High of 28.
You look at
or something
Shadow
like that.
of Ezra Cohen, where they're talking about a November to remember.
Oh, thanks to Lou Hellickson. Good to see you.
We are going to see some really big stuff happening.
Really big stuff is happening in the next couple of weeks.
Announcement that during this upcoming trial that 45 is going to be putting out.
Yeah, big things are happening in the next 2 weeks. Remember, he said that 2 weeks ago. Guess what happened? Nothing. Absolutely nothing happened. Nothing that he said. Nothing that he talked about happened. Now he's saying it's the next 2 weeks. So he's kicking the can. Kick the can.
Information about various things that didn't go the way we thought they were going to go. I'm being very careful in how I speak. That could be the end right there, because that public address, and as the classified information is revealed, that could very easily lead to
the president is already under indictment. Former President Trump is already under 95 indictments, all kinds of criminal cases against him, and now he's going to release classified information. No, he's not, you dummy. What is the likelihood that a man that's already in all kinds of legal trouble is going to risk more legal trouble by releasing classified information? I think about zero, but that's just my opinion.
So I don't think they're even going to let those trials happen. And if that's in the early spring, then
Trump's
that means
trials
we're in
won't
the
happen.
hottest period right now. Again, I'll say this again.
He said Trump's trials aren't going to happen. That's how you know they're going to happen, because this man is wrong about everything he says. He is the worst prophet on earth. Prophet with an F, he does well at. Prophet with the PH, not so much.
Expect that this is going to happen all around the 2024 election in November. I don't think that's real. I think we might have multiple months prior to that point where there's a very, very different thing going on than where we are now. And we're going to be learning a whole lot. And I'm not even worried about it. Honestly, I'm not worried about the arrests. I'm not worried about justice being served. What I am worried about is the negative greeting that I get along the way.
Oh, the negative greeting. Oh, the negativity. People trying to knock him over psychologically. David's spiritual prowess navigating the real world is impressive and inspiring. Yeah. And the thing is, DJDs, thanks for being a member, he doesn't even realize the problem with being like this. You're supposed to be a spiritual guru in contact with angelic forces, and you're complaining about waiting in line with lesbians at the mall. It's just, this guy is so out of touch, it's ridiculous.
The negative attacks and the things that really try to, knock me down emotionally, psychologically.
Oh, people trying
when
to
you're in a
knock him
place
down.
where everybody is this pissed off, it's really not good. That was the thing I found out. It's like, you could try to dial in a pretty nice property. You could have some land around you, so you're not like right up everybody else's back door and everybody's 10 feet away from you, which can happen a lot.
Well, not everybody could have a 100-acre estate.
But even if I had some land, it's like,
David.
well, you're still surrounded by all these people who are basically having a meltdown. And so when I drove back to the airport yesterday,
not yet,
nobody's acting weird on the road.
Supposed
Nobody
to.
cut me off. Nobody was
Eventually.
hostile. Nobody was angry. Nobody's yelling at you when you're walking around, when you go into a grocery store, when you go into the restaurant. For whatever reason, Boulder has won the happiest place in America awards over and over again. And you can kind of see why. Because, there's no anger, aggression, hostility going on here like there was out there.
Yeah, I like in the beginning of the stream too, he complained that when his wife left him, the only place that he had to stay was his house because that's the only place that he could afford. It's a $2 million mansion, $1 or $2 million mansion. The only place he could afford was a $1 or $2 million mansion. Captain Out of Touch, send him another $333.
So I still don't know if I want to stay here the whole winter because today is 11 degrees.
It wasn't 11 degrees.
Ski pants
it was
to go
22
and a base layer.
degrees. He lied about how cold it was outside. I don't really want to do this
all winter, but I also don't really know where we're going next.
Yeah, the Angels should have helped him with the lesbians.
Company. It looks like we're getting some deals coming in. There's actually about 4 or 5 that are really amazing.
No, there's no deals coming in my opinion, to Stavati Aerospace. Stavati Aerospace has been called an investment scam and a Ponzi scheme in recent court documents. It's also being sued by their creditors, at least one of them, in court right now. But he's going to tell you that Stavati's got some big deals brewing. He's been saying this for 2+ years. That company is shady as hell. There, I said it.
But until they happen, we're still just on life support.
Yeah.
It's very stressful.
Yeah, you're getting sued. Your company's getting sued, David Wilcock.
My goal is not
by more than one
party and difficult experience. My goal is to have fun and enjoy my life. And even though I got snow when I look out the window right now, it's just 5 inches of snow on my railings. I would much rather be here than in the summery weather of Los Angeles.
But he made fun of this woman,
San
called her a
Francisco's
gorilla.
even worse, but the
silverback.
Then I talked to my mail guy, and he told me that, his friends are saying that LA has gotten 10 times worse. I don't know if I'd say 10 times worse. I might say 3 times worse.
He talked to
from
his
my
mail
own
guy.
observation. But
he has a mail guy
it's gotten really intense. So now is a great time for all of us to focus on our health. There's a tax against our health coming, and I gave you this whole comprehensive diet outline.
Yeah, and if you listen to David's medical advice, you're an idiot. Do not listen to some E or F level celebrity, if you could call him that, former star of Ancient Aliens that was wrong about everything. He's been wrong about everything that he ever said or predicted would happen. He's been wrong about everything. Now he's giving medical and nutritional advice, including telling people, if you eat that, you will die. And he's proud of doing that, spreading medical disinformation.
And I've shared with you the full story about the horror that I went through doing this movie. So
yeah,
the only other thing I really have on the agenda is doing our global peace meditation. So I still have my voice. So let's
Flubber Lane
do
says,
that
what
now.
a flop.
All right.
David has nothing to offer.
So Mary Gabrielle says, I live in Oregon where everyone is
But
in
do not
delusional
fill your
dream or
bathtub
high
with
on
tea.
mushrooms. Lulu Spears says, this sounds like a comedy skit. That's the funny thing, right? Is if it hurts you, it's funny. So
Oh, it hurt him when somebody yelled at him.
I figured, you know what?
He opened their car door.
If I got a woman like Fannie Willis who's screaming in my face like a demon, I'm like, okay,
That's
well,
another
that's
meme
funny.
where
It was horrible. It didn't feel good when it happened, but yeah, it is funny. Ads show up depending on what's being talked about. Yeah, that probably happens. David, I think the idea is to be in the eye of the hurricane, try to find out
Dizzy
why
Blonde
you're
thinks he's ready for the
manifesting
rubber
what you are.
room. You can lock
Stay
people
out
up
of
if
the
they're a
blue
danger
states.
to
I'm glad
themselves.
it's not just me. Keep up the good
Yeah.
work, David. I'm sending my blessings. I enjoyed the LA story. It was very entertaining, but exhausting for David.
Oh, it was so exhausting for David. And listen to how stupid his followers are, right? Oh, I really enjoyed your stupid story. Who
So
enjoys
no talking
this
about
crap?
levitation today, huh? Well, we could. I guess we could do a little bit of that. One of the things that was really cool was
he
getting
titled
to
the
do
video about levitation, and he talked about it for like 2 minutes. But then he bitched and cried about how terrible his life is for an hour straight. So there's that. Forget about that secret, sacred, angelic knowledge that he claims to be in possession of. That's for sale for $333.
Film and having John Hutchison involved.
Hutchison, the cross-dressing pseudoscientist. He never got anything to levitate. He's a grifter. He could never recreate his so-called experiments. And a lot of people, including myself, think that he filmed things upside down, used wires, and scammed the Hutchison effect. He's got a breakthrough science, but he can't reproduce it. That means it's a scam.
Technology that we're going to be using to build hover cars is probably
no surprise.
Cluster technology.
Look who's in his film.
John Hutchison was using that same system to get his levitation effects. And there's a lot that we could talk about, but
melting down like a grilled cheese sandwich.
Promoting it more. This isn't the only time. But I wanted to make a movie about levitating saints. And so we talked about, for example, Simon Magus. And this is a fascinating example from early Christian church history.
And here he's stealing from Catholic mythology.
Paul and Peter were right there. So Simon Magus actually did levitate in front of a group full of people.
Allegedly.
And they got really freaked out.
And I'm a Catholic saint.
And while he was in
By
the
the
air,
way,
I guess
you can't trust Catholic Christian and especially Catholic mythology as being, truthful, because just look up incorruptible saints. We covered that here. That's a scam. They say that the body's incorruptible and it's a saint, but they have a wax mask over a goddamn skeleton claiming that the body's incorruptible. No, if the body was incorruptible, you wouldn't need that, put a wax mask. And that's one example. There's also the crown of thorns of Jesus. There's the blood of Jesus. There's all these relics in the Catholic tradition, including the Shroud of Turin, that don't stand up to any kind of scientific scrutiny or dating. So when Catholics have this mythology, and by the way, I was raised Catholic, you can't trust that that's real and true and accurate information, but somebody wrote it down, so David thinks it's a true story, because he's not very bright, quite honestly.
20 feet over the ground, he got woken up by, I believe it was Paul or Peter. And then after he woke up in the air while he's levitating, he no longer could levitate and he fell and he broke his leg.
Imagine.
And the people
David
were so freaked
Trump's
out about
cellmate.
the fact that he had levitated that they stoned him to death. And no, we're not talking about cannabis. They threw stones at him.
Yeah, listen to his bruises. He's a narcissist for sure.
There's a church of Francesca Romana, I believe, that was built right on that area where he was stoned to death, which might sound good, but in this case, it's not good.
Jesus would have given him an
so they
exorcism.
Built this church there because of levitation.
These griffs eat their souls,
book,
man.
There's a whole chapter in there called "The Levitating Saint," about a saint called Nagendranath Baduri. The point is that this stuff is seen all over the world, and
still sniffing.
It's Christianity, it's Hinduism, it's Buddhism, Sufism, mystical Islam. All these different types of modalities of teaching can actually produce levitation. So in this movie, we're trying to get down into the causal mechanism. Like, how can...
This man claimed that he himself had telekinetic superpowers. So is he going to demonstrate that in the movie, or was that a lie as well? This man claimed that the Archangel Michael told him to take baths in his own piss so that he could get telekinetic superpowers. And then he claimed he got telekinetic superpowers, I guess, after taking so many baths of piss. By the way, how many baths do you have to take in your own piss before the superpowers start working? I don't know. These are questions that somebody should be asking David Wilcock. David Wilcock, how many times did you have to take baths in your own urine before the superpowers started working for you, bro? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Now he's making a movie about levitation. Remember, the last course he sold for $333, he said, if you take my course, you'll be able to do it too. Anti-gravity and free energy. Can he show us anybody from his last course that could do free energy or anti-gravity? Or was that one big grift? What was it before that? Ascension. What was it before that? Daniel Brinkley. He's dying again, and this is his last will and testament, and he's dropping all this secret, sacred knowledge. Yeah.
Universal law allow the human body to lift up into the air. How does this happen? Why is it related to
It doesn't. It's against
your
the laws
level
of
of spirituality? Why is it that as people become more spiritual, they develop this ability?
Yeah.
So we have two of Dr. Greer's new insiders in this movie. We have DC Long and Michael Herrera.
He got two of Greer's grifters to grift with him on the new grift, a levitation movie. And by the way, those guys never mentioned anything about levitating, right? Now they're experts on levitation. You gotta love the Grift Squad, man.
So we are very happy to have them, and they have some very compelling stories.
Sniff and drink, yes.
It's just an amazing thing when you get people who are really professional.
The energy he has is
just to develop a 2-hour piece of content.
Oh, no.
By the time that content comes out, it's just going to be incredible.
Hunter Biden can't keep up with him. He will if he's doing rocks.
About this. Why? Why are they so worried about?
Listen, this is serious stuff. If David is doing powder, if he's doing powder and Hunter Biden's doing the rock, Hunter Biden can keep up with him. I believe in Hunter Biden's ability to keep up with somebody if he's doing rock.
Human extraterrestrials. Why are they so worried about angels? Why don't they want you to know this? Well, you go to LA right now.
When Corey said IP, David said me too.
I'll tell you what, it's not the city of angels. It's the city of fallen angels. Whoa. I mean, like everywhere I went.
Soon David is going to be grifting on porta potties.
They're mad, they're crazy, they're angry, and they're aggressive. Let's have some more comments.
Uh-oh, more comments.
Speaking of cannabis, I am loading up my bowl as we speak. Okay, good enough. Some people like that. Infinite love and blessings, fellow multidimensional, infinite, eternal, radiant, divine, sovereign light beings. United we stand as unique expressions of consciousness for peace and unity.
Oh, yeah, somebody else has got some word salad, new age nonsense in his live chat. Wonderful.
Are you talking about Paramahansa Yogananda? Yes. Carnivore diet is the best way to lose weight. That's true. Greer is a reptilian. I don't think that's nice. There are plenty of Catholic saints who levitated. I haven't heard of any of them being executed because of it. Yeah, go look up Simon Magus.
Allegedly, he was stoned.
And you'll see, sure enough, that's what happened. With extreme high voltage, high potential static dielectric fields, you can form an ether well and slower speed up magnetic and dielectric centripetal forces towards a plane of inertia. Yeah, I kind of would agree with that.
He doesn't even know what that means, and he's agreeing with it. I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means? The question about the garbage dumpsters at his airplane hangar, I think, is coming.
Watching David is like watching my version of the news. The truth.
The truth?
I am planning to move to Arizona from DC. I hope things are better there. DC is just as bad as Cali. I can believe that. Innocence, clarity, love, unity, peaceful. Whoops. Did I just miss it? I guess I did. Sorry. Hot ginger and tea and honey, my friend. Get lots of rest. Come to Florida. Stay out of LA. Yes, I agree. A Florida man did levitation on large stones to build a place near Sarasota. Many community agents know where it is. Yeah, that's the...
No, he didn't do levitation, and people figured out exactly how he did it. It was called Coral Castle, and that's another New Age grift.
Ed Lead Scalnan and the Coral Castle, which is very real.
Well, the castle's real, but the claim that he levitated those stones, I don't think has ever been, nor will ever be proven. Dr.
Greer looks like a tall gray. Ha, ha, ha. I think he's a little bit too heavy for that. You have to be very skinny to look like a gray. But I did make that joke before. I levitated a few times about 28 years ago. My life had a major trauma due to a car accident. It affected my...
Sure. So he's got, no wonder David Wilcock, nobody stops in David Wilcock's audience when he starts claiming that he has superpowers, because there's people in David Wilcock's audience that are right here claiming they have superpowers or had them.
My vibration, I was never able to levitate again. People can levitate because they are filled with light, which directly correlates with their level of spirituality. Are you going to print Michael prophecies? Actually, yeah, I was just thinking about that. Like, you know what?
Yeah, by the way, for $333, you don't even get a real book. You get a PDF file. $333 for a goddamn PDF, a download PDF.
price I was selling it for.
By the way, if you want PDF books, go just Google free PDF books. You'll find thousands, tens of thousands. You'll find sites with tens of thousands of free PDF books. You don't need to give him $333.
Until very recently was less than it would cost to buy it in a book form. And I'm like, you know what? I got to get these in book form. So I think
No, they were $99. That's not less than it would cost.
$25 a unit. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to get them out fast enough before all these things come true. But anyway.
Yeah, everything's coming true. That
are you just storing waste at your hangar? Did you ever work in Seattle?
Are you just storing waste at your hangar? He didn't answer.
I don't know if I'm even going to be able to get them out fast enough.
Here's the question.
All these things come true.
And by the way, if you've been bragging, if you're David Wilcock and you've been bragging about your hover car company for 2 years now, claiming that you're going to create a hover car prototype with a free energy engine, and then some joker like me comes along and reads out the court documents where your company got called an investment scam and a Ponzi scheme, and then the court documents reveal that the only income that this shady aerospace company he's so proud of and apparently or allegedly gave millions of dollars to, the only income they have is from a garbage company, a dumpster company who stores their garbage dumpsters in his airplane hangar, their airplane hangar, and they get a few $1,000s a month from that, and that's their only income. Do you know how much it costs to run a building that big, and their only income is a few $1,000s a month? Where's the rest of their operating expenses coming from, David? And if you've been bragging about your hover car company for years, right? And you're the director of advanced technologies there, and some joker like me comes along and reveals that they're storing dumpsters. You guys are storing garbage dumpsters in your airplane hangar. And somebody asked that in your live chat, you should answer the question. Look, he just grazes right over it.
But anyway, are you just storing waste at your hangar? Did you ever?
He doesn't answer. He just goes to the next question. That's how you know that my reporting on this was accurate, because he's afraid to answer. He knows the truth is in those court documents that we correctly reported on.
Ever work in Seattle at a place for the mentally disabled? LA stands for Lost Angels. Where's Chris? Well, I'm here by myself.
Poor David. He's in a big multi-billion-dollar mansion by himself.
Anyway,
So
I think
sad.
now's a good time for us to do the meditation. We got about 10 minutes left. So I definitely need to get that in, because this is a technology that works. We have about 4,000 people
He's talking about the Maharishi effect, which is a scam. It doesn't work.
watching right now. It says 3689.
That's that principle where, if we get, 300 people to meditate on peace, we can lower the crime statistics in a city. No, you can't. And that was proven to be a sham and a scam. But he bases all of his nonsense off of shams and scams. So,
Right at this moment, we've had a total of 16,000 views already. And as people keep watching
this makes no sense either. He claims that he had 4,000 live viewers at this point in the video. And yeah, I get it. It's an hour and 45 minutes in. Maybe some people jump in and jump out, but they don't jump in and jump out 3 times. So he's claiming that they got 16,000 views out of 4,000 live viewers. I'm here to tell you that doesn't make sense from a YouTube perspective, but we know that he has used porn bots or bot accounts before. And we know that because during one of his live streams, a lot of the names went to like hot ass for you and like big yummy bang bang and all these names that were porn names. They must have like made a mistake at the bot farm, but this is the same guy who reportedly buys his own books to get them higher on the New York Times list. Somebody once told me he had cases and cases of his books in his garage, but, I don't know if I believe that or not. Take from that what you will, rumors and speculation. In it's not a stretch to think that he's using bots. He was directly connected with Epoch Times and the Edge of Blunder boys. Remember those guys, the Chinese cult boys?
The meditative effect will spread. So we already have enough numbers that we can make a really, really big difference here. So why don't we get started on that right now?
Yes, we know it's accurate. And thank you, John, for that, right?
Okay. I got to give you guys some visually appealing camera changes here. That one will look
Somebody
good.
said it was $600,
Here we go.
Chris G. And thanks for being a member.
Let me get centered on this camera too. Hold on. And that way everything's perfect.
Yeah. You got to be nicely in frame
Okay.
to meditate right.
I'd like you
right?
to put both feet flat on the floor.
My feet are on the floor.
Take a nice deep breath. Breathe in. You may want to go through the nose and breathe out. And inhale again, nice and slow.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Just let your
I'm aware. Isaiah Station, do more content of David, not 1.5 hours of dumping on him, then pretending like it's not worth it, your time. Your views are the highest when you cover David. I don't know that that's true. I got more views for the David Grush stories than I did for the David Wilcock stories. And by the way, isn't it interesting that the Grift Squad is starting to grift off of Grush now? But I do realize that people enjoy these, so I continue to do them. I do realize that I have to do what the audience wants to see. And obviously the audience does want to see these, so we'll keep them in the rotation. But thanks for your feedback. We appreciate you. Thanks for appreciating us.
yourself breathe more and more.
Oh boy, look fancy. He's got
Filling your lungs
crossfades.
with cleansing, healing oxygen.
What's he filling his nose with, though? Welcome to the show, said
Go
FFS.
deeper and deeper into
For
the
F's
skin.
sake, I'm trying to meditate here.
Feeling yourself light as a feather. Like
I
your
agree.
body is floating.
Davina
No concerns
TK
in your mind.
says, I'm surprised he can
No
still breathe from
concerns
his
about
nose.
the past or the future, but just right in the now.
Then the smoke alarms go beep,
You are
beep,
here with
beep,
me.
beep.
We are together. We are creating a nucleus of power that cannot be surmounted or suppressed. A change is coming to this planet.
Oh, come
That
on,
will be a
man.
very positive
Really?
healing benefit.
When did I show me a video of me complaining for an hour and a half and complaining that I have to cover him? I've never done that. Maybe a few minutes. I would joke and say, like, what am I doing here? Relax, man. No, I enjoy doing these. Sometimes, though, like when he does those 4-hour streams that I have to try to get through, that's rough, you know? Don't complain. And stop the hemming and hawing. Just do the work. Okay, Isaiah, are you a YouTube channel member? Did you send me a PayPal? Look, we don't take complaints unless they come in the form of a super chat. Praise the cash, bitches. Trying to raise money for one ribeye bison steak. And you're in here saying I complain too much. You can throw some money, right? Just do the work. Work ain't free. So send me some money or we will not accept further complaints from this account. And by the way, I do have to mention that it's the Wild West in the chat room. There's no more moderators.
And we are at the point now where all of these things are
Yeah,
happening.
I have that on my list, old cool comp sci. I'll do that.
Learning how to have
Remember when
greater
Wilcock was
degrees of
getting all
compassion for
muscular? Was he
ourselves.
on steroids?
To learn how to stand up
Just breathe in through the nose.
for ourselves. When people
These crossfades are horrific. Look at
wish to
this.
do us harm,
Oh my God, that is so gross.
we have an attitude of forgiveness and healthy boundaries.
Oh my God, he's fading into
This is
his
one of
own
the key
forehead.
law of one teacher.
That's so bad.
You forgive those who
Oh
want to hurt
no,
you,
the crossfade is too much.
but you also make very clear boundaries.
Well, he's
that
got to
you will
work
not
the
accept
crossfades while he's
what it is that
meditating.
they are trying to do. You will not allow yourself to be
Racolite.
wiped out,
Racolite detected in
destroyed.
chat. Yes.
to be lied to, or at least to continue to be lied to. Once you find out that's happening, you can withdraw.
You can withdraw from David Wilcock lying to you?
Going deeper
Good to
into
know.
silence,
These
breathing,
crossfades are horrific. He thinks this shit looks
letting
good.
yourself relax more and more. Isn't it nice
How long have you
to
been
just
a rapper?
have this resonant peace always available to you?
Lock and destroy. Yes.
Continuing to feel yourself drifting farther and farther
Chris.
away.
Long-time show supporter. Thank you. I
Like
appreciate
your
that.
awareness is becoming
These crossfades are horrific.
a single
Planet of the
focal
Apes
point.
vibe. Yeah. Oh, God, that profile view.
You
Ew.
feel yourself drifting in an inky black void.
Yeah, I wonder if he sits around and practices this
vastness of
shit.
space. There's a
Oh, my God,
singular
it's so
point of
bad.
light, a point of focus that
He's
is
looking
you,
like the zombie AI
as your
Wilcock. Yes.
smile, as your
He
personality,
meant withdrawal. Wilcock
as
on
your
fentanyl.
warmth, as your love.
Yeah, we are terrible. If he does another stream, I'm
As
doing
your
another one.
understanding.
That's the way we work it here. Yeah. Here comes the
It
void.
allows you to feel that everything is protected
This is your brain on drugs.
as this
You
point
know
of
he does,
universal
Stephen.
awareness.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
You are completely safe. Nothing can touch you because you are pure energy.
These
You
crossfades.
exist
Look at
as
this.
a radiant point of
He thinks
consciousness.
this shit looks great, man. He spent
And you cannot be
$6,000 on cameras that can crossfade this shit.
And as
Why
you
don't I have
ultimately
crossfading
know,
cameras?
This is your true.
You cheap people better send me some more money. I need
This is who
crossfading
you were
cameras
born
if
to
David
be.
Wilcock has them.
Who you are
I
meant
don't have
to
any
be,
crossfading cameras.
and who you are becoming.
Who am I becoming?
You allow yourself to drift
Oh, we got to do another fade.
ever more deeply into that silence.
Oh my God, this is terrible.
Finding yourself almost like you're deep under the ocean. And your awareness is so elegantly
Is
relaxed,
the guitar a remnant from the Jimmy Church
The
grift? No,
water-
I think that's his own guitar.
causing you to feel a
Crossfade
new
had better
sense
take at most about
warmth,
2 seconds. Yeah.
stillness.
No, he's trying to do a slow
Renewal.
meditative crossfade. Don't get. He's an artist,
Oh,
Paul
never
Shields.
so
But thanks for
deeply.
being a member. You're not a leech.
Breathing.
Complaining that I'm
Letting your
complaining.
mind go deeper.
Never sending me any
and
money. You send me
deeper
money
into
every month.
stillness.
You're one of the good leeches. I mean,
deeper and deeper
viewers.
into peace. Allowing. this
Yeah, one of him on
joy
screen isn't enough, Davina. We need 2 of them.
Rise.
I'm going to
Rise.
do crossfades like this while I'm eating my
feel-
bison steak. Yes.
Yourself. Kinetic energy of
The
levitation.
depths of ether bridge.
Tingling across your skin.
Crossfade madness. Yeah, there's 2 of them. Look at that.
The understanding that it is possible.
It is
For
possible.
some human
No, it's
beings,
not possible, David Wilcock. This is some bullshit.
levitation. And we know that as they reach this state, as they approach this
Oh,
knowingness,
I got to work another crossfade. Let me open my eyes for a minute.
the light vibration in their
He's coming
bodies
down
creates
from the
lift,
binge. Yes.
creates levity,
I'm coming down.
a light-hearted
Yeah, I need some
sense
more.
of self,
I need another 8-ball.
not taking yourself too
Next week's
seriously,
stream.
not being consumed by the needs of the
On
moment,
ice.
overwhelmed by all the things
No.
going on. But going back to that point of concrescence,
Oh,
that
they
you
edited
have
out the sniffs.
has got omniscient intelligence
Yeah, he's just making it up as he goes.
Only
I
exists.
think.
in its pure and complete form as light.
We exist as light.
You
I don't
think about
never-
the things that
I
happen
normally
to you,
cut it before the meditation, but
pain
this
that
shit is
you've been
funny.
through, agony that you have suffered, and you just let it go.
Come on down to North Carolina, sir. I would. I like the
Use
Carolina.
the power of your breath to exhale out
He needs a bump.
the negativity, the judgment and condemnation.
Come on, I'm trying to meditate here. You people are
stress
distracting
that you've
me.
been feeling.
World needs peace. David Wilcock's going to bring it to
Just
us.
to exhale all the pain out. And as you breathe in life.
It is hypnotist
Breathe in
stick.
now.
He even says he used hypnotist stick
Breathe in consciousness.
later. Yeah. Look,
Breathe
there's
in
2 of
trust.
them. It's gross. One of
Breathe
them
in
on screen is
faithfulness.
gross enough, but 2 of them is double gross.
Fidelity. Brotherly and sisterly love.
Yeah, we
Kindness.
sometimes can't tie our own shoes, even though we exist as light and
Let
pure
yourself
energy.
feel what it's like to
And the
be
cat smell.
self-realized.
Maybe that's why he keeps sniffing. He's trying
Know
to
that
get
your
cat smell
goals
out his nose.
have been met.
Damn.
There really is no striving
Cat
here.
stench.
There's nothing to strive for. Because totality already exists.
He's the
Beingness already
savior.
exists. Life already exists.
Life already
Consciousness
exists. What the
and
hell?
infinite awareness
We only got a few
has
more
never
minutes.
left you.
Thank God. I can't take much more of this
You will
grift.
never be separated from that awareness. All separation
Yeah, he's
is
going to
an illusion
meditate,
brought
and
by the
his
physical
life is
body
full of
and the mind.
excited misery. What a ham.
And
Yeah.
the truth is far more exciting,
Excited
far
misery
more
and peace.
vast. For we can take this point of peace, this point of concrescence that we are creating here
What
today,
about the point of pee?
and
You
we can
gotta
allow
do the
that
pee
peace
and get in the bathtub with
to
the pee.
live out in the world, to spread
Yeah,
into
you don't
the world.
side
To
eye
see
when you're
this
really
white
meditating.
light radiating into the world, around where we are, wherever we
His
live,
hell is cat smell with smoke
spreading
detectors
out
going
throughout
on.
the
I agree.
countryside like a wall of radiant white
And
energy
golden showers. Yes, golden showers.
until the entire planet
Imagine the
Believe
banana going deeper and deeper.
brilliant light.
The banana is going deeper
fundamentally
and deeper.
rewrites the core genetic
They made him
codes
make a
within our
banana
own
sandwich.
DNA.
You're interrupting the
Give us a chance
meditation,
now
DJ D's, but thanks for being a member.
to see the
Exhale
future
Warrior. No golden
where all of
showers.
us
We're
are able to
meditating.
meditate.
Do the golden showers later.
And these natural laws of physics, little understood, work to our benefit.
Oh my God, this is bad.
We send this healing light to the Middle East, to Israel,
And that's how you know they're going to keep
Palestinians,
having wars, because he's
to Iran,
claiming that he's using his
to
superpowers.
all neighboring countries. And we humbly request
He
that the
claims he's
most
going to use
peaceful
his
outcome to
superpowers
this
during
current
peace, so
situation
that won't happen.
be the one that occurs, minimizing casualties, minimizing hostilities, preventing any type of serious world war from occurring. We send our light to those who are making decisions, asking them to breathe, to calm down, to just be more fulfilled in their own lives,
I'm not feeling
without the
very
desire
fulfilled.
for revenge, without the desire for vengeance.
Golden showers bring them super duper
On either
powers.
side,
Yes.
we envision a pathway to peace.
Can you feel the
We
poppies?
envision a
Golden
diplomatic route
showers
in which
raw.
things can be quickly wrapped up.
He was making noises like a banana was going up there. Oh,
All
that's
of these
gross.
issues can become less stringent and less alarming than they are at this moment.
That's where like the shrink falls over and
And
dies.
we know that
Yes.
this begins from the point of peace
What a
that we've
window
created inside
licker.
ourselves.
Window liquor.
So we breathe in again and we exhale out peace. We exhale into the world. And we claim that mantle of righteousness for ourselves. For we are the light, the love, and the one infinite creator in our
Hey,
truest form.
Both of them was the
Nothing,
love and the light.
no one can ever take that from us. And so it is. Amen. Now I ask you to breathe back into your body, wiggle your fingers and toes. Let yourself come back to the body. Don't you feel good now? Isn't it nice to have a good meditation? I went for a big hypnotic induction there. I used the kind of really tired sounding voice so you'd really go far out. I hope that was good for you.
Oh, was
I'm
it
very
good for
happy about
you?
what we've achieved here. So I want to thank you
He's
for
happy
watching.
about what he achieved. What did he
And
achieve?
We will see
He
you
bitched and cried and complained for like the whole time, right?
next Sunday. I don't anticipate I'm going anywhere, and I want to start doing more shows. So thank you for your support. And
Now he's going to do the pitch. You got to buy my crap.
I really do need your help. So there's 7 books of Michael Prophecies now available. And those books are
It's
all
only
at
$333. Get out your wallets, bitches.
thedisclosure.com. We also have a 10.5-hour course available right now. It's already deliverable. All 11 episodes are done. It's called Sacred Science of Michael Prophecies. That's part of this course offering.
Oh.
And I'm
Oh.
going to have an
But
upcoming
wait, there's more.
new video course, which I'm going to start doing the slides for this week, called The Spirit of Michael Prophecies, which is also included in
wow.
this.
And the only thing he can't prove is that any of this shit is coming from the Archangel Michael. So it's worthless, garbage, fake
I'm
information.
going to have at least 7 videos where I go through the 7 books and hit all the highlights. So if you don't have time to read all this, you can watch video. So So again, please don't hate on me. I had to go do this movie. I had to get this done. I know we have customers and they really want to see the next video series, The Spirit. I got to reread all the books and then I got to make slides. And so that's what I'm going to be doing this week. In fact, I might even start it.
He's got to reread his own books to be able to talk about them. Well, I guess there's 7 of them.
Today. Somebody said, thank you, David. I got your books. Love and Peace in the Middle East. I love your meditations. Awesome meditation stream. Thank you so much. Glad to see you back. I missed most of the.
He's got some stupid followers.
Show. I'll come back and watch it later. Yeah, I'm going to turn it off in just a minute here so that it'll now reset itself. But again, I wanted to keep it to 2 hours, so we will end it for now.
Oh my God, we made it through. All right, and we did skip all of the medical disinformation and Operation Shutdown. Thanks for being a member with the comment of the night. Operation Shutdown says, who knew multi-camera shoots with fades brought world peace? He finally let out the brown beast. Yeah, he had to go take a shit. Remember, he's constipated. And he said he tried to take a shit for 45 minutes before the stream began. And he couldn't get it out. So I hope he's okay. I hope it all came out okay, right? And one of our, Freya Anderson, or one of our ladies here in the live chat says, I want to know what eyebrow pencil he's using. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. Here comes the big pitch, says Algo Ray. Well, I think somebody in marketing told him that he was pushing too hard. So now he just put the grift pitch at the end, right? Wilcock needs our help. Yeah, he needs your help, even though he has thousands of dollars in ribeye bison steaks in his freezer. He needs your help, even though he spent $4,000 of money that was supposed to go to his charity on meals and entertainment. He needs your help, even though he spent $4,000 on an Airbnb to go to Los Angeles, right? Then he spent money on a hotel that he didn't like because it was noisy, right? Lou Hellickson says, he is disturbing my galactic chakra. Yeah. Well, something slid out in that room. It was long and brown. Was it good for you? What every assaulter says. We've just been insulted. Our eyes and ears. Yes, Al Warrior says he was constipated. Absolutely. Absolutely. And by the way, somebody mentioned the jacket earlier. I would like to say that I care so much about my audience that I just decided to dress up today. But that's not the case. I'm sorry. The truth is, I have a heater in this room. This is an unheated room of our home here, a big room. And so if I don't come in here a few hours before the show and turn on the heater and let it warm up in here, it's freezing in here. It's freezing in here right now. And I can't run the heater during the show because then the audiophile people cry and complain, right? So I knew it was going to be cold in here, and I went to get a sweater, and apparently all my sweaters and hoodies and everything were in the wash. So I went in my closet, and I haven't worn this thing in forever, but it's kind of spiffy. It's an old tuxedo coat of mine from my days doing stage magic shows. In or around Boulder, Colorado. I don't want to dox him or give his yeah, for 45 minutes he was pushing something too hard, but he's still constipated. And again, I just want to make sure that we recognize and understand that this man spent an awful lot of time, an hour of this stream, giving people medical and nutritional advice. It's against YouTube terms of service. He could lose his whole YouTube channel for that. So I don't know. You know, maybe one of his idiot followers should tell him to take that video down or edit out all the medical and nutritional disinformation. You can't go on a public live stream and tell people you can't eat wheat or you'll die. Like, that's not good. You can't do that. But hey, you know, who am I to expect a man with all these followers, this huge following, to actually abide by the same rules I have to here? You know, and that's another thing. He's fully monetized giving out misinformation, disinformation, false information, fake information. And our live streams routinely get demonetized right after they end. So he can make a YouTube video giving people medical advice when he's not a doctor. He can make a YouTube video begging people for $333 for books from an angel. Sure. But if I make a video being critical of that, demonetized. So, but we do want to take a moment to thank all you kind and generous benefactors, because it looks like I'm gonna add it up right now. We might have gotten one bison steak, right? And for those who maybe forget or weren't here earlier in the stream, David Wilcock is at least claiming that he's got 2 months worth of bison steaks in his freezers at his $1 million mansion, even though he's begging for money. Which is interesting that a man with thousands of dollars worth of extremely expensive meat would be begging other people on the internet to send him money. But, you know, this is the wacky world of Wilcock. So what I said is, I just want to get one steak. Can I get, one steak? I think that's, a reasonable request. He's got 60 ribeye bison expensive steaks. I don't need 60 of them, right? I don't need 60 bison steaks, but hey, one would be nice. So 1 second here. I'm adding up tonight's total, and it looks like we're going to be able to buy one bison ribeye steak from tonight's earnings of $41 in super chat. And guess what? What is a boss? The ribeye steak, a 1.5 inch ribeye steak, costs $41.70 a pound. I'll throw in the 70 cents. Oh no, there may be PayPal. We may have still covered it. Praise the cash, bitches. That's right. I'm praising the cash. Yeah, I don't know about that user. I've never seen that user before who was saying that I complain too much and just do the Wilcock streams and put the work in. Like, dude, you could start a channel, right? All right. Well, we had a kind and generous RM group. I'll just say RM group with kind and generous $50 PayPal. And initials JZ with a kind and generous $20 PayPal. Say, JZ says, I consider you to be a friend. Keep up the great work. And kind and generous $20 PayPal pledge. Well, thank you very much for your kindness, generosity, and support. And Alga Ray in the Twitch chat with a kind and generous $1. Thank you, Alga Ray, who's always holding down the Twitch chat. Kind and generous $1 PayPal pledge. And Spreaker just paid us, so we're flush with pay. I'm buying a goddamn ribeye bison steak so I could see how the other half multimillionaire grifters live for one meal, at least. For at least one meal, I'll get to see how the grifter squad lives. And we want to thank all of our kind and generous benefits. I don't need 2 months of ribeye steaks, but one ribeye steak would be good. So I'm going to buy a bison ribeye steak. I'm going to cook it up on the grill. Maybe we'll make some sides like blue chicken wings to go with it. And I will eat it on stream. We want to thank all of you kind and generous benefactors from tonight. Al Warrior and Nelson Morales and Anthony Peterson and I think that's how you say that. And Al Warrior again, Al Warrior again, Al Warrior again. He was the MVP, and he became a member today. Thanks for becoming a member. For those that don't know, if you become a member during the live stream, we thank you and give you a big shout out. And we read every single super chat just so everybody knows. DJ D's, we want to thank you. Freya Anderson, we want to thank you. Sandra McDonald, we want to thank you. And Al Warrior, we want to thank you again, Al Warrior. All right, we can take the fair use banner down now. And I want to take a moment to make sure that we promote for tomorrow night, because I didn't do that. So the next show is tomorrow night, which is Halloween. And I'm saying it's going to be at 9 p.m., But please realize that I have 2 young boys, and I have to take my boys trick-or-treating for an hour. We usually go right when it gets dark, which is around 6 o'clock. So I should be back here by 7 and plenty of time. But just in case, there might be a trick-or-treating emergency and we can't go till a little later or something. So it might run a little bit behind. 1 second here. I'm going to put up the banner for tomorrow. So tomorrow night, we're doing a panel show. And everybody knows I love and hate those. Like when they go well, they go well. And we're going to have prizes, but I'm calling them worthless prizes. Worthless prizes for the best costumes. And by the way, I noticed somebody in the comments complained, like it really bothers them that they can hear me typing during the live show. And I apologize for that. I got a silent mouse because somebody kept complaining that they could hear the clicking during the live show, and that really bothered them. I'm my own producer here, so I have to be the one typing or clicking the mouse, right? We got a click-free mouse. I'll try to get a silent keyboard, and I apologize. So tomorrow night, October 31st, 2023, 9 p.m. Eastern, we're doing a costume ball, and we'll have worthless prizes for the best costumes. Please join us in the live chat. I hope to see you at our next live show, but tomorrow night is our next live show, and you don't have to just watch the show tomorrow night. Get a webcam, get a microphone, and please headphones and no nudity, and come and join the show. Tomorrow night, you don't just listen to the show. Don't just watch the show. Even if you just hop on and say hi. I love connecting a name and in the chat room to a face and a real voice. So if you haven't joined the panel before, everybody is welcome. I don't know what we're going to talk about. Maybe I'll gather some material to share, and we'll have a panel show with costumes. I'll be in costume. I hope you will be too. The show will start at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm going to do the thumbnail late tonight and post it. It'll be in the live show section. And I will be putting into the Discord the end pinning into the live chat. Once I've posted the show for tomorrow night, I will pin the invitation to join the show in the live chat. I'll put it in the Discord. By the way, join our Discord. And so join the show tomorrow night. Wear a costume. We're going to have prizes for the best costume. I'm hoping that it won't be a sausage party. So you ladies, please don't let me sit here with a bunch of these dorks. Could you please come and join the show? If you haven't before, somebody can try to help you. You can just do audio if you're shy. Just pick a good avatar. We appreciate all of you. Al Warrior with another one. Happy Halloween, bro. Well, now we're definitely buying a bison steak. Maybe, I appreciate your kindness, generosity, and support. And thanks for being a member. Praise the cash. And then we got Sandy. Sandy Smith, thank you for being a member. Has been a member for a full-on year now. So praise the cash. I got your money for 12 months in a row. Praise the cash, bitches. Thank you, Sandy Smith, and thank you, Al Warrior. We appreciate your kindness, your generosity, and your continued support of the show. Both of these guys, Sandy Smith and Al Warrior, are long time show supporters, and we appreciate all of you, long-time show supporters, short-time show supporters. We appreciate all the support, and we want to give everyone, including you Patreon supporters, you YouTube channel members, a big shout out and a thank you for helping us to praise the cash.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
Thanks to both of you. Thank you to all of you for your kindness, generosity, and support. And Sandy Smith says, praise the cash. Will we get an appearance from someone in a mask for Halloween? Maybe Dr. Stephen Greed. Yeah, I haven't decided. I think I'm going to try to do multiples tomorrow. So I'll come in as Stephen Greed. I'll come in as Jimmy Needs Church. Maybe David Wilcox. Yeah, and Randy says, so David discovered the cheap fart can muffler people out of their cars. Yeah. And Freya says, it's so weird that his complaint about you. You're actually very patient and very kind on this channel. Yeah, sometimes I think somebody just signs up for a new YouTube channel to slag me. I don't know. I don't really, I do recall though, Freya, that I jokingly, I like, what am I doing here? Why do I got to do this? I do it because it's funny and people like it. So we keep doing it, right? And Buzzbomb says, of course you don't know. We're in upside down clown world. Yes. Egyptian Princess says, you look nice in that jacket. Yeah, I kind of like this. Maybe I'll pull it. I have a whole bunch of black suit jackets and nice coat jackets I never wear anymore. Maybe I'll start pulling them out. Yeah, the Magus is here. It says, way to put it in perspective with the footage of the homeless and drug addicted. Yeah, I thought so. This guy is crying and complaining, you know, and begging people for money. And meanwhile, you know, people are suffering and people don't have $333 like they used to, the Magus. And he is so out of touch, Mr. Millionaire, spoiled rich kid, never had to work for anything in his life, really. And I don't care how many, you know, he has this attitude, like if he just makes enough slides, that's hard work and it's really good material. No, it's not. Your information, David Wilcock, is worth nothing. Nothing. Lou Hellickson says, great tech, video graphics, family man, cabin guy. Yeah, thanks, Lou Hellickson. And I'll be getting back to work on that cabin channel. We'll be launching that soon. Have a safe and happy Halloween, everyone. And Al Garay says, praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash. Yes, we're praising the cash tonight. We did very well, especially for the end of the month. Excellent stream, Stephen. Happy Halloween Eve. Thanks and God bless you all. No, thank you and God bless you. We appreciate you. Thanks for appreciating us. So we have done our due diligence. Next show tomorrow night, Halloween night, 9 p.m. Eastern. We should be at 9 p.m., if not as close to 9 as possible. We're going to have worthless prizes for the best costume, and you have to take it no matter what the prize is. Oh, this is going to be fun. And tomorrow night, we'll have some special guest appearances from some, Dr. Stephen Greed, maybe Richard Doscan, Jimmy Needs Church, the Cousins brothers, or, one of them. We'll see what happens. So be here tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be here. And I really hope that you'll be here with me. So we made it through another wacky world of Wilcock. I don't know what this guy's going to do next. I can't. It's like driving by a car accident. You ever drive by a car accident and you're really looking like you don't want to see anybody dead, but you can't help it. You have to look. That's how I feel about David Wilcock at this point. He's been wrong about everything. How can he continue to get people to send him money when he's been wrong about everything he talked about? He was wrong about what would happen in the year 2000. He was wrong about being Edgar Casey reincarnated. He was wrong about us getting rainbow light bodies and superpowers in the year 2012. He was wrong about the mass arrests. He was wrong about the Q-tard stuff. He was wrong about anti-gravity. He was wrong about free energy. He was wrong about the hover cars. He was wrong about the mass arrests that were just supposed to happen in this last week or two. He's been wrong about everything. He is the world's worst psychic. Got to feel a little bad for him. Wife left him suffering from the vajayjay, lack of vajayjay. He's going a little crazy in that $1 million mansion of his, eating $40 a pound steaks. Yeah, I don't feel that bad for him. Oh, all right. So that's all we got for you, friends. Until next time, my name is Stephen Cambion. Good night, and God bless all of you.